cool as well. How's it going, dude? I'm not too bad, cheers. How are you? I read the comments the wrong way again. How's Randy Craven, Wolf, man, what's up? Yeah, I'm not too bad, cheers, dude. How are you? Feeling pretty good, pretty normal today. Tell you what, it'd help if I'm looking. Don't do a lot of that though. That's why in the end I thought, sod it. I fancied a change from doing SnowRunner, and I just kind of figured if I'm playing this, I can concentrate a little bit more, hopefully, on the comments, and not have to pay as much attention to what I'm up to, since crashing is pretty easy, pretty second nature. GM Dieselman, hello Load Captain, sorry. How's it going, dude? So that's what I need in this game. Goddamn horse or vehicle. I don't remember those jumps being there, not complaining, but pretty sure they weren't there last time. Rebel by choice, morning, how's it going, dude? Larry Clades. Is that Rex president? Damn, I'm not president. New girl. I see you're playing Call of Duty again. Exactly. This is the latest in first-person shooter technology. Disguise themselves as a car. Larry Clay. Oh, Wolf president. What is it? Bargerson. Hey, Mr. Wolf. How's it going, dude? Good to have you joining us. Like I said, it's just more, yeah, sort of messing around. Gives me a chance to chat away. To be honest, I'm after a little bit of a break from SnowRunner. I'm quite looking forward to the new DLC. Like, sort of imagining it like a new game. So I hope it comes out sooner rather than later. Bargson, sorry, hi Mr. Wolf, no, it's all good, dude. I'll tell you what, again. I'll actually try and point the car in the right direction for a minute. Yeah, that was just like, I thought in the end, I'll just jump on this game, do something different. I did actually have a little mess around on SnowRunner earlier in the week. I got the, on the live stream a couple of weeks ago, I flipped with a P16 with a loaf. Managed to rescue them, got down the horse or vehicle. This one's not gone very well. I was kind of on my way of doing a thingy review. What do you call it? The Roadrunner, and I got a little bit distracted just driving around with the Roadrunner, to be honest. Didn't really get onto the review thing. But then on Thursday morning, they've been cutting the electric all morning, like all down the street, not just me. God knows what they're up to, but yeah, so that wouldn't have gone well anyway. I'd already decided like I wasn't making the video, but I'm glad I did, because 99% chance I would have been halfway through editing, and then they cut the electric like 20 times in a row. GM Dieselman, the new main map looks awesome. Do you know what? I've not even seen like a thumbnail of it or anything. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. I like the sound of the location they've chosen, everything. It's sounding good as far as like just all the stuff I've heard of snow, mud, all that. Even just people have been saying, yeah, looks wise. Like obviously people on PC have been able to drive on it as well, and it's all sounding pretty good. Like I say, I'm quite looking forward to it. I hope there doesn't need to be like absolutely tons of new content, but I hope there is more than there was on Phase 5, because again, I really like Phase 5. I just pretty quickly already sort of realised like, there's not going to be a hell of a lot to do on this before it's kind of, yeah, it just gets to the point where there's not really anything left. But again, I've still got like 5 missions or something to do on Phase 5, which, yeah, hopefully getting around to. I'm kind of getting through a lot of stuff other than SnowRunner, getting things sorted, so at least once they release the new phase, I can actually just kind of focus on that and churn out some of that stuff. I'm going to be pretty busy again, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at least. Hoping Thursday, maybe. But again, it's like, if I get it all done now while it's sort of quiet anyway, then yeah, should be back to normal pretty soon. Tried stacking the goddamn professional, didn't go too well. Why, what happened? Were they starting to lean on like each of the suspension? Because that's what I even considered it the other day, you know, when I was messing around with the Roadrunner. I nearly got a club out and a load of goddamn horses, and I was going to stack them, and it was, when I originally stacked them, that's not the most difficult part. It was like, with the cranes being so terrible, trying to get the loafs perfectly like centered with each other. But then you have it where it like clips a tire and starts rotating the loaf, and then just the speed that it allows you to rotate it back, it just ends up being, yeah, takes a lot longer than it should. New A&K truck might be fun to use. Yeah, I've heard as well about that. I'm quite looking forward to that, because obviously they sort of made us just have the sideboard in the back of it. I assume, is it basically the A&K, but it can now have all sorts of stuff on it, or if they actually, is it like a slightly different vehicle in and of itself? And then there's the Tiger I've heard of, which I assume is that, as I think it was Justin Lynch saying last week, is like the C255 from Mudrunner, so definitely looking forward to that one. That'll, gut feeling that's going to be my, not my new favourite overall out of every truck, it might be, but it'd have to do pretty well to do that. I've just got a feeling out of like the Phase 6 that'll be my my favourite. I've still got 3 wheels, it's not bad. Sorry, we still chatting SnowRunner. You can chat about anything. Kenneth Russ, I'm excited for Phase 7. I hear you can race on a track in the Tennessee map. Oh, so they've already got all that on the go as well. Tennessee. So that's pretty cool. So, is there already like, have people already been on that map or anything, or is that just sort of the rumours going around what's coming afterwards? I mean, I assume they're going to have it planned up to Phase 8 sort of thing, so yeah, that's pretty cool. Tennessee sounds like be another good one. Sounds like they're shifting away from snow a little bit. Not that it's necessarily a bad thing. Well, again, they could make it great. They just keep overdoing the snow with their own super snow and death snow. And I think they just make everybody a little bit bored of the snow. Like, that's more why I'm looking forward. I've heard there is going to be snow on it as well, but yeah, if they did more maps that were like Michigan or Wisconsin, etc., like, I'd quite look forward to them. God, I'm probably going to restart if this car is completely screwed. Oh, hang on. I was hoping he'd smash into me. That's what she said. There's been leaks. If you go to Map Runner, you'll see 2 maps. Oh, that's cool. I'll check it out, to be honest. Like I said, I was on that the other week because someone was sort of asking me about some upgrades and stuff. All I need to do is get past these guys. Can you use the van? Oh, the Vandal and the police car. Yeah, I can do, actually. But in fact, I'll go back in a sec. I'll have one more run on this. If they spin me around and crash me up or whatever, I'll go back, yeah, get the Vandal. The Vandal is basically the loaf, isn't it? Well, that's what that's what I've declared it as now. I'm pretty sure we're on the same page. If not, in an emergency, I'll be willing to pull everything and got down the horse. Needs be, it gets the job done. A little bit of a better run. So that's Skiro Gaming. We'll go Wolf, you got this. The car is a little deformed, but I believe it was not feeling too healthy a minute ago. I was only on lap 3 out of 6. To be honest, I just clicked some buttons and I already had it set to 6 laps and all the rest of it. I don't... Well, yeah, I probably could squeeze in 6 laps, not a particularly big track. But there's another rally course that they've added on this. To be honest, I was just when I was going to click on SnowRunner, I sort of seen Wreckfest, it caught my eye, and I was like, not been on it for a little while. I assumed they'd added some new things, which they have, not a whole lot, but yeah, there's like a rally track which I've been trying a little bit. Could be dirty there. I play too nicely on this Wreckfest game. Well, sometimes. so have that happen. Pretty much bags me the win, I reckon. Justin Lynch, so Wreckfest this week. Yeah, like I said, just fancied a bit of a change. Well, as far as doing the SnowRunner live stream, I still obviously like doing them and everything, but what about, I've got my normal playthrough, which if I go on the Phase 5 maps, I'm kind of using the last missions up that I am still planning on making a video, like separate videos on. Yeah, or I go on to my modded one, and there's a lot of stuff I've not unlocked, so I'm kind of quite limited as to which missions I've even got access to at the minute, and it's just one of them where, I think it was last week as well, not that I mind jumping around from region to region, I actually quite like doing that, but it'll just be the same sort of like picking random missions for the sake of it, missions I've already probably got videos on and all sorts, and yeah, so I just thought I'll jump on Wreckfest, give that a go. Like I said, in theory I can kind of pay a bit more attention to the comments, or so I'm hoping, without having to look where I'm going, what I'm doing, and concentrate too much. And then yeah, again, it was just one of them. Thought while it's a bit of a quiet week for the old the SnowRunner, is there still any? Has anyone heard any more accurate confirmation on when the game's coming out? I'm still, as a ballpark figure, kind of thinking middle of December. Mark Rowe, hey Mr. Wolf, how's it going, dude? Good to have you joining us. Skira Gaming, how's it going? Yeah, I'm not too bad, cheers mate, you? Been a bit of a busy week, but overall, not too bad. Still got the sleeping pretty, well, good for me anyway, so it's going pretty well. Jaden Lebezo, how does the multi-purpose stack up to the advanced special? Personally, I'd prefer the advanced special, but I think it's probably worth giving the multi-purpose a go, because there's a couple of people mention it sort of quite consistently in the comments, not necessarily just the same couple as well, it's just you generally hear that sort of thing that people are saying, like the multi-purpose is worth giving a go, particularly since a couple of months ago, probably 4 or 5 months ago now, they seem to nerf all the gearboxes to where, yeah, the delivery of power can be a little bit iffy, and from what some people have been saying, the multi-purpose still actually seems to deliver it pretty well, and I've given it a go. I think, what is it about the multi-purpose? I think that it's missing the high range gear. There's something about it I don't like. I remember that. And then yeah, it's the fine tune makes me go into reverse, like it makes the action too slow, which just, I don't like that. You're missing out on the Monster Collab mod in SnowRunner. They done another one. Monster Collab, yeah, I don't know if I have seen that one. I assume that's got to be pretty new though. When I went on SnowRunner, what was it? Saturday or Sunday now? I don't know, 3-4 days ago. And I put the, what do you call it, the Roadrunner on. Yeah, I didn't see any like a Monster Club. But again, I still can't find that titanium as well. I had a quick, not a long look to be honest, but I just looked through the first 10 or 15 pages, still couldn't find that. I'm hearing 30th of November for it. Oh, that's pretty cool. Like, for me, the sooner the better, because, I'll be honest, I'm going to be busy this next week regardless. But yeah, that kind of, if we're talking more like, yeah, a week and a half away or whatever, that'd be pretty cool. To me, it feels like the balanced stock gearbox in other trucks. Oh, is that the multi-purpose, do you mean? I get where you're coming from. I couldn't really say I could give that a great answer because it's been that long since I've used the stock gearboxes. But to be fair, they like I sort of remember when I had to use them. The stock gearboxes weren't terrible. I think it's just sort of autopilot now. I just naturally click on like the highway gearbox or the off-road or the advanced special, etc. risky to say it, but I've actually kept my car in pretty good condition on this one, somehow. Oh, just as we jump and hit one and spin, of course we do. It shouldn't have fed it. Seen enough of Wolf's driving, crashing easy, staying on the road. Yeah, exactly, that's the thing. This game naturally lends itself to, the more I don't look at the screen, the more successful the concept of Wreckfest is. It's the staying on the road part that I'm not so sure about. I mean, within reason, this is essentially what I'd be doing on SnowRunner, just in fast forward. At very high speed. Wish we would get more memory space to run more mods. Yeah, I fully agree with that. I wish they'd add more save slots, because then I could add more custom maps without having to like completely delete. Again, I've only basically got one save slot for like yeah, custom mod maps. So that'd be nice. And yeah, the memory thing, like, it seemed to... we were allowed to have as many mods. I don't know if back then, though, when we first got the mods, if there was even enough to fill the memory up, if that makes sense. But there probably was, because the Heavy Wrecker was definitely, like, one of the earliest mods that we got. And even to this day, that still fills up the memory pretty good, so... it must have been draining quite a lot of it even back then. But yeah, I wish they'd like unrestrict the limit. I'm sure there's certain systems and whatever that need the limit, but I don't know. It sort of feels like we've all just been blanketed with a cap, and it's yeah, it's a bit of a shame, because even again when I do the mod live streams, or whether I'm doing a video or what, I've got to keep going through the mods and picking and choosing and deleting ones that are just I'm not going to use tonight, but it's taking up too much memory and so on. It came out this week. 12x12 liftable platform for cargo. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. I'll have to check it out. If this guy actually trying to have me at the last second. Yeah, I'll have to test it out. If it's any good, I'll either do a separate video on it, or again next week I may well just be back on SnowRunner. I'll probably do the mods anyway, because if they have actually released a few more. I think that guy was trying to hustle the win off me at the last minute. Cheeky sod. I haven't played too much Wreckfest since finishing the story. Tried the updates, but dunno, haven't been liking them. I've, to be honest, not really tried the updates a hell of a lot. I just kind of probably did the same thing you said, really. I went through the career mode, did all that, kind of played all the levels. I like driving around and just smashing stuff around, but as far as the updates go, I've not been particularly on them, trying to yeah, get them all done and everything. I won't go on it yet, but there's that rally, there's a new rally track, which, yeah, so it's like a special stage thing, which sounds pretty good. Reminds me a bit, they did the farm stages or something that you can get on Wreckfest, like the mods that Soundhead does them. They added these ones, which I believe is like a throwback to Destruction Derby and all that, and then there was that, like, yeah, Wrecking Playground. It's cool, but it's a bit, yeah, I don't know, it feels a bit soulless. There's something missing on there. So we could go on good old Wrecknader. Right, where's the Vandal? Where are you, horse? There he is. Oh, he's even wearing his glasses. So when you know he's ready. May as well do, yeah, 8 laps. Let's risk it. Aussie man, external storage would help, but how much RAM have the boxes got? I have no idea. I don't, like, I've got, I think, external storage. Yeah, I've got like a 4. What is it? It must be terabyte. Yeah, it can't be gigabytes. Yeah, like a hard drive thing on my PS4. As I said, I basically this game, in fact, Wreckfest is loaded onto my hard drive. I think SnowRunner is as well, even though I've got it on disc. Like the stuff it has to load on is kind of on that, just so it leaves all my PlayStation memory, because, yeah, the memory is pretty terrible, really. Like, PS4s should have been more like 5 or 10 terabytes, really, for how much each game, how much room it takes up. Sorry, I might have missed a comment there. I can just see oint system thing. I was at my friend's house and we got to wrestle, pants each other, and eat really good pizza. Sounds pretty good. Well, I don't know about pantsing each other, but the pizza sounds pretty good. I had a pizza yesterday, in fact. It was pretty damn nice. I always end up trying to make my own pizza, adding all kinds of stuff on it. That's right. Make way for the loaf. It's funny driving on them after driving stuff like SnowRunner. It's funny to drive on a game again where steering is just steering, if you know what I mean. They've not like used the steering particularly as its own balancing method. Not that I'm against it, I appreciate why they do a lot of what they do with SnowRunner. But you definitely, some vehicles just have steering where it's like, really? Not sure it'd be like that in real life, but we'll go with it. The devs was it surprised by Sony and Microsoft just because people were installing too many mods and their game was crashing? Yeah, I think they did had like a lot of problems, particularly when mods first come out. I think it went pretty crazy. Like, I think it created quite a lot of hassle for them, but at the same time I will say that's, you know, they're the ones who promised mods and all the rest of it on console, which I'm still glad they did. And I, like I say, I still do appreciate it in the sense of, one, they could have just not added them to consoles. There probably would have been a lot of grounds for people to say I want my money back if they didn't, because they already kind of promised that they would. But yeah, just even in the sense of they could try and hoggle the extra content more and just, like I said, try to churn out SnowRunner 2 and sell it as an entirely separate game, which is something that Activision and, yeah, Call of Duty like do every year and so on. So it's yeah, still pretty good. Like I said, I still enjoy the game. It's just at the minute as well, while there's a quiet spot, I suppose I don't want to, you know how there is only so long you can play a game when there's nothing more to do. I kind of don't want to get bored of SnowRunner, and I'm not bored of SnowRunner at the minute, but I don't want to, yeah, play it all day every day for weeks and weeks and weeks where there's nothing new going on. I'll start to get a bit like, meh. Whereas now I am actually kind of, yeah, sort of, oh, well, I don't know if I go as far as to say excited like that, but yeah, kind of excited, looking forward to the next DLC. And it's a good time, really, sort of around Christmas. Oh, that just nailed my van. Loaf's not doing too well. He's feeling it. When we were there, we also got to prank people on a Meggle with our friend. Is that how you pronounce that, a Meggle? With our friend with large breast. He's a guy, but with the camera angle. Seen people that see on YouTube where some guy put like a bra on his ass, but it looked like obviously a big pair of tits. It was pretty funny. I think that was baiting a lot of people in. That's how easy it is. That's all it takes. We aren't fussy creatures. Go for the old T-bone. Xbox finally put Max Payne 3 on the marketplace. That's a fun game. Oh yeah, I've definitely played that. Max Payne was cool back in the day. Well, I'm sure it still is now. I've just not played it since back then. I don't know why, it just made me think of that other game. Then I remember a game called True Crime, Streets of LA or something. Don't know why that just popped into my head. Yeah, Max Payne was definitely cool. I heard as well with the Grand Theft Auto, they released, like, I think that triple edition thing is out, like Vice City and all that, and I've heard it's not gone down well at all. Do you know if they're going to be a sequel to SnowRunner or just more DLCs for now? Well, I think the DLCs are going to go like, if we're getting Phase 6 coming up, I believe there'll be Phase 7 and 8. After that, to be honest, I've got a feeling they're going to be aiming for like another game instead of, say, a Season 3 then. So, a bit of both, to be honest, I would probably be my answer. Again, I don't know, but that's just my gut feeling. Aussie Man, played Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne. I'm pretty damn certain I've played all of them. I just... going back like, yeah, probably 15, 20 years since I've played them. But I definitely remember it as a bloody good game. Maybe not as underrated now, but I think back when it was out, it was a little bit... flew under the radar for how good it was. But I think it kind of caught on eventually that it was actually a pretty solid game. Yeah, Max Payne on PS2, I had to get that game because my last name is Payne. Be rude not to at that point. But yeah, it was definitely pretty cool. Wouldn't mind playing that again, to be honest. See, that's another thing in the scheme of things. If I can get say a PC instead of a PS5, then yeah, it opens up the possibility of playing other games like that. Whether it's, yeah, I don't know much beyond this, but here like an emulator or whatever. If there's a way I can get it onto the PC, which I'm sure there is. Bound to be. Like I said, PC people are like the Wild West. They just, yep, we'll have that, we'll load that onto PC. And to be honest, it should be like that, because I still don't see any harm that happens to the companies. Dominic Vega, a SnowRunner game of semi-truck highway interstate hauling would be kind of neat. Yeah, true. I agree. I'm surprised they haven't, to be honest, because within, I know it wouldn't be completely the same, but you'd almost be catering to the like the Euro Truck Simulator crowd as well a little bit if they made a map that was definitely like a lot more just, yeah, interstate highway, that sort of thing, motorways. Yeah, it'd make quite a lot of sense, and it'd be something a bit different. We've got highway trucks in the game, which the GMC 9500's not bad, to be fair. Now they've put the all-wheel drive on, but the Transstar and that, I'd gladly use them. There's just, it's like, I can't take the Transstar out on practically every map without getting stuck every 2 seconds. I started a mod map region earlier in SnowRunner. What's that one called, dude, or how's it going anyway? I still need to do that bloody Lake Cope. Like I said, I just need to go on it for like an hour or two. Get around to that. The problem is, like, especially last week, and it'll be coming up again this week, we're making a couple of phone calls and stuff, and it's like right slap bang in the middle of the time where I'd normally be like editing and stuff as well, which is half the reason I've just been skipping it. But yeah, I'll still, again though, if like while I've got that Lake Cope on, if I get any other mod map, I'll have to save it over Lake Cope, which at the minute isn't the end of the world, because I haven't really, I went on that Lake Cope for like 10 minutes at the start of the live stream, but still I had to delete like that canyon map, which I quite enjoyed that a little while ago on the live stream, but I had to delete that to be able to put Lake Cope on. Now whenever I get too squidged. I mean, look how long GTO Online has been going. That's true, like, seriously long. Seeing they just, oh, hyped up, sorry, keeps making money, I think they'll keep milking it, so I think year 3 is possible. Yeah, with SnowRunner, I could see it going either way, to be honest. I know what you mean. If there's enough demand and interest, they could do a season 3. But I also, yeah, like I say, I don't know. I certainly think it's possible, but I think from a business standpoint, they'll be kind of keen on trying to make another game. But yeah, if there's a season 3 for 20 quid, again, I'm pretty damn certain I'm probably going to be getting it anyway. But yeah, I won't say no to them doing it that way around. okay, I was going to thank you for your service, but I'll thank you for being an emergency responder then instead. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I wouldn't, I don't think I'd do too well. I always don't get, like, you read it over here every now and then. You get, like, gangs of little shitbags that start a fire, get the fire brigade down, and then start trying to attack the firemen. It's like, what on earth are they doing? Someone should go around and set their house on fire. And then see how keen they are to attack, like, firefighters and ambulance and shit. Sorry, so yes, it's still there, Rebel. Might be one of the extras. Sorry, I might have missed a little bit there. What SnowRunner map is this? This is SnowRunner Wrecknado. See, the guy's getting in the spirit of things. You got the memo. What news I've heard, it's Phase 6 is very close to release, probably one more PTS update and then it'll be officially released. Yeah, that's good news. Like I said, the sooner the better, really. In the next week or so, I'm kind of going to be busy regardless, but beyond that, I'm kind of like, yeah. Well, it's sort of say the beginning of December-ish. It'll be better than halfway through December. And like I said, hopefully there's enough content and everything to carry us through, like, over the Christmas period, which I'd assume they're going to try and aim for. Like, I'm guessing they've been playing catch-up a little bit when they seemed to decide to do a Season 2. It didn't seem like they had that long to put, say, Phase 5 together, but I also get the feeling since then they seem to have, like, obviously got on to Phase 6, planned Phase 7, I assume got on with Phase 8, everything. They just, yeah, they seem to have, it sounds like they're catching back up with themselves a bit, which is good. Can't wait for Thursday. Why, what's happening on Thursday? Sorry, did I miss something or...? But console certification takes up to 3 weeks. Yeah, that's the thing. You always hear this console certification thing that slows things up. I think that's the same thing with a lot of the modders as well. I'm sure Fox was saying about that with one of his mods that he submitted to them. It might have even been the Derry. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty certain it was him who was saying it, and he'd submitted it quite a while ago, but just waiting for them to certify it for console was what took so long. Well, it usually takes 2 weeks for console approval, so factor that as well. So I suppose then it could end up being back to like the middle of December. Worst case, I can live with that. It's, I mean, what are we on yet? The 21st of November now, so sorry, I just got distracted. Yeah, so we're talking like, say, 3 weeks-ish roughly, which, yeah, well, it's better than 5 weeks or whatever. I mean, I'm guessing they're going to get it out before Christmas. It'd be a bit of a bad move if they left it to the point where, like, yeah, Christmas has been and gone. I've heard November the 31st. Well, I'm guessing I was at the end of December. Is there a November the 31st? I can't remember. Where? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. No, it'll go to the 30th. So, but 1st of December. Again, if that's only like, well, what's it? Depending what it's the 21st of November here, but it's kind of still the night of the 20th, really, to me. So you're talking 9 or 10 days away. That'd be pretty cool, because that would be like, obviously, a week today, you're talking another 3 or 4 days, which works out pretty nice. GM Dieselman, okay, Mr. Wolf, which do you like better, Wayne's World 1 or 2? I'm probably going to have to say 1, but I'll be honest, I did watch one of them a few years ago, and I can't remember which one. I'm going to go with 1, but I'll kind of reserve 10% of my answer for, like, I'd need to watch them again, if I'm honest. I can't remember off the top of my head, like, I can picture the films, but I can't remember which one's from which film, so, yeah, I can't even think if the scenes I'm thinking of are in, like, the right film. But failing that, I'll go with Wayne's World 1. Why? What's yours? Mark Rowe. There's only 30 days in November. Yeah, that's the one. I was trying to do it. Well, I did do it with the knuckle thing. It works really well. I like that one. So anyway, let's find a track to go and smash around. And what was the other request? A Cardinal, was it? The police car. Yeah, let's do a figure 8. I like them. Right, where the hell? Oh, is it? Oh, that was pretty easy. Let's give it a go. It should handle pretty nice, to be honest. Well, it should be pretty solid if it's a cop car. Not that I won't be able to banana it, but that's right. It's Thanksgiving here. Oh, is it? Fucking hell, that came round quick. Feels like only a few months ago. Like, obviously I know it's not, but I remember it must have been this time last year then, when obviously people in the comments were saying about Thanksgiving. Sean Wright, 30 days, half November. Dragon Slayer meant 30th. No worries, dude. Either way, it's like, if you mean the end of November, yeah. Again, though, I think that console thing, I kind of agree that might end up getting in the way. So it might be the end of November, but yeah, by the time they certify it, we could be looking at, say, the 7th to the 14th of December. But worst case, we're probably less than a month away from it, so that's pretty cool. That's a start. It's better than being like 3 months away from it. Do you remember when first SnowRunner live stream was? I remember it, but I don't really remember it when. Like, I don't know. Does anyone else find, since particularly the COVID and all the rest of it, it just kind of blurs into one? Unless it's just as well that I've been like spent the last year and a half, apart from say the last month or so, of just every day kind of getting the footage and editing it and so on. And I keep thinking to myself, like, if I was going to say something, I'd be like, oh yeah, 2 or 3 years ago, and then I kind of think, oh, hang on a minute. Well, it's got to be more than 2 years ago, because it happened way before COVID started, and that's kind of not far off. Well, it was about 2 years ago I read about COVID. It was in November, I think I was reading about it, so yeah. It's kind of thrown me, as in, like, when you think back. That's why, like, I've just had to make the rule. If I say the other day, it could mean anywhere from earlier to, like, my childhood. The other week is sort of my childhood to, like, the Roman period. And then the other year is, like, Roman period to sort of Jurassic. So if I said I was hanging out with a T-Rex the other year, I'm not lying. Probably did happen. Probably wasn't in my current form. Probably a little creature creeping around the floor, but I probably did hang out with a T-Rex at some point. Thanksgiving, fun but a lot of work. For me, I'm cooking. So is that like... Is Thanksgiving dinner basically like a big Christmas dinner? It sounds pretty good. I don't know why we don't have it over here. Well, I know, obviously, why you have Thanksgiving there, but I just mean, I don't know why we haven't just stole the idea as an excuse to have a big meal. Hopefully when Phase 6 is released, there's no game breaking bugs, and then they have to release another update to fix it. True, I don't mind the odd little hiccup, but I know exactly what you mean. Like, there is a few ones they've released where, yeah, it just took the edge off it. If I remember rightly, I think Flooded Foothills and Big Salmon Peak was kind of a big one for that, because just with the amount of missions that were bugged and all the rest of it, yeah. It did for me anyway, just kind of, by the time I'd got a chunk of the normal stuff completed, it just sort of put me off by the time they updated it. Nintendo Store was wrong about the release date of Phase 5 at first. Oh, that's true, yeah, because they've got the Switch as well now, haven't they? Yes, it's basically just an excuse to get family together and eat way too much. It sounds like a good idea though. That's the main thing I like about Christmas, to be honest. I couldn't care less about presents and all the rest of it. Yeah, it's just like a good excuse to hang out with the family and do sod all day, really. So, well, I've got my tree up. I've had my tree up since about 2016. That's how prepared for Christmas 2021 I've been. Been waiting years for this shit. Yeah. Eat that. Turkey for Thanksgiving and Christmas. She makes a really nice prime rib roast. I have to say, I like me a turkey on a chicken. I'm a bit fussy with the other stuff. Not to say never, but I just, yeah, do like a good bit of turkey and chicken. Got 2 turkey breasts to go on the smoker grill. You guys, is that like, you like doing a lot of those grilling things? Which is pretty good. If our weather was better here, I'm sure we'd have more barbecues. I used to barbecue a lot. I used to barbecue in the rain, all sorts. I didn't really care, but I don't know. it didn't really catch on. Let's have another go on that, because it was a bit too easy. Can I please have my mess again on screen long enough? Oh, is that message none? Mess again on screen? Oh, sorry, not to have to retype a 5th time. It's not up to me, dude. It just jumps as much as it does, so it is what it is. We just decide what we want to have for Christmas. We'll just be husband and 2 kids at Christmas this year. Yeah, I think it's going to be not such a busy one for me this year as well. But I don't mind that. Again, I'm going to hang out with the family. Talk some bollocks for a day. Low and slow, the way to cook. True. Don't want to go too quick. Get it all like burnt and crispy and dry. Dragon Slayer, 2 venison racks for us. Sounds pretty good. So what day then? If it's Thursday, is that the 25th of November then? Off the top of my head. Off the top of my head. Not that that's going to be any help. ItsMrLoneWolf, GTA went over as well as the aftermath of team, is that hot dog eating contest in a stuck clip. It really, from what I've heard, like I think they've gone, as usual, as too many companies are these days, gone too politically correct with it. I think they've removed just bits and bobs. I've heard it feels a bit soulless. I've seen some of the footage from it and I get what people are saying. There's little things like, I think in Grand Theft Auto 3 they've removed the fog that used to kind of act as a render distance limiter, I suppose, but it looks sort of worse without it. I've even heard that Rockstar have now released the original games on the PC store, whatever that means, like wherever you go. But yeah, originally they kind of removed all those games, so everybody was forced to get this definitive edition thing. But they seem to have backtracked on that now, just based on how everyone's gone mad. Oh, burrito. We don't really get burritos over here. I'm sure you can, but again, they're another thing. They seem to be really popular in America. You just never hear about them here. I wouldn't even know if I could buy one or where to go to buy one. Get some bubble and squeak. It's true. Not had bubble and squeak for a good old while. Well, if it's the same thing, is that like the Yorkshire pudding, basically? Does that have any different name? We call it Yorkshire puddings over here, but I don't know if that's an English thing, or if that's just the name that's named everywhere. Yeah, and it's got like, oh no, it's toad in the hole in it, or is that the same thing? Oh no, it's bubble and squeak, all the just like sort of leftovers, but in a good way. Xbox is having Black Friday deals. I was able to get some great games for really cheap. Yeah, that's true actually. I've not looked on the PlayStation store, but was it something messaged me the other day saying Black Friday deal? So you got to watch out sometimes though, because I've noticed this. I've seen a few things that are sort of shown this, that a few months ago they'll start hiking their prices up of things, and then they obviously for Black Friday they can say, well, we've just slashed it by 50%, but in some cases they've been upping it by like 60 or 70% over the last few months, just to make it sound good when they slash it in half and everything. And yeah, some things are actually being sold for more money than they were, say, 6 months ago. Some things, I'll admit, you see it on like deals and it's like, yeah, that's just objectively cheap. I like both movies, but the second has Wayne Stock. Just follow the naked India. Oh, that's true. So it probably is the second I was thinking about more, to be honest, because that's the one. Is that with what's it, Cassandra and all that as well? It probably is that one then, to be fair. So I like that one as well. Hot turkey sandwiches, can't wait. Friday. True, funnily enough, just before I got the live stream on, I had a hot chicken sandwich. Pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. Follow, is that Kate Ovens of Lad Bible. She does food challenges, including burritos in the UK. I'll be honest though, burritos aren't really my thing. Is that where it's got like mincemeat in it? Oh yeah, what is it you guys call it? Ground beef? I think I said mincemeat. It's minced, as in it's chopped up, I assume. But it sounds like... I've seen some people in the comments asking, do I mean like mince? Like, I don't know, breath mince? But no, minced meat is what we call it over here, yeah. Not keen on that. Not since I got forced to eat shepherd's pie when I was a kid. Snowrunner is on sale. Oh, is it? That's pretty cool. I assume it's probably fairly cheap. I think last time I seen it on sale, it was something like $16.99 or whatever, which was not bad. For the amount of content you get, the amount of hours of stuff you actually get, it's, yeah, you get a lot for your money, really. And again, it's funny with that Grand Theft Auto, I was kind of interested in potentially getting that anyway, and messing around on that, but after hearing the... Yeah, I don't know, it doesn't seem like it went too well. Minced meat could be called ground meat. Yeah, I think it's like, we just call it minced meat or minced beef or whatever over here. But yeah, to be fair, I don't think anyone really calls it ground meat over here or whatever, but I've heard that from America. Any kind of meat. Sorry, I missed that. Steak, chicken. I missed the last bit. I got the Jeep DLC and I really like them. They're good scouts. Yeah, I think they're pretty cool, to be honest. I still think the Wrangler is like the main one, and the sort of second one is, you know, it is what it is. But overall, I still think it's a good scout, though. I'm not disappointed, even though it was £5 for both of them. I'd much prefer the Wrangler over, say, the Apache thing. Got to do the shredded chicken burritos. That is basically what a sandwich, but I had a shredded chicken, hot shredded chicken sandwich. It's pretty damn good. Let's get some Hell Ride on the go, because at least I won't last 5 seconds. That's what she said. Let's get a limo on the go. Why not? Oh yeah, let's get it down to 5. Not going to last long enough, really. Please play GTA. True. Do you know what? Even when I looked through as well, I looked at Wreckfest and I nearly clicked on GTA. I just wasn't sure. I've completed GTA, I don't know, 3, 4, no, more than 3. It's got to be 4, 5 or 6 times, but I think I've 100%ed it 2 or 3 times. But I think once or twice was on the PS3, and then once on my brother's PS4, and then I think I've done it. No, I've not 100%ed it on my PS4. But in theory, I don't mind doing that as well for like a live stream one day, because again, it'll just be kind of running around shooting people, doing whatever in the background whilst chatting away. Saints Row 2022, it's already on pre-order, and that's pushed back to August. It'll be pretty cool when that comes out. I hope they return to more like, yeah, Saints Row 2 and 3. And what they really could have done with is, I suppose they'd release Saints Row 3. Which I heard was a good version of a release, so that just shows you, it's like, I assume they didn't bow to political correctness and all the rest of it, and just re-released it. Whereas, yeah, Rockstar, it's a shame. Rockstar are usually pretty solid with all their stuff, but they seem to have folded this time, and it appears to have cost them. And again, I've got a PS2, I'd rather buy, what was it, Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and whatever other Grand Theft Auto game. Yeah, I'd rather buy them all for a couple of quid for the actual disc, and own the disc and everything. If you like watching a pretty petite, late 20s blonde girl eat ridiculous amounts of food, take your girl. Well, I mean, I suppose I wouldn't say no. Like I said, I'm still that kid, what's his bloody name? Something like Matt Stoney. Something like that, who does eating things on YouTube. I'm not even like, it's not the sort of thing I'd watch as such, but I watched a few of his because it is honestly like, I don't know how he eats that much. And he's a pretty small person really, compared to like, it's not like he's some 400-pound, 6'8" massive dude that can put it away. He's just an eating machine. Shredded chicken sandwich, use a tortilla. Tortilla shell burrito. True, you don't really, I've made the old, yeah, Mexican food over here. Some of them get a little bit spicy, but I don't know. I'm not too bad at spicy food, definitely not be doing like vindaloos and all that. I don't know what kind of crazy people want to be eating stuff that hot. Good luck to them if they do, but I can't handle that. Sorry, I can just see the Brigadier and it's a cool truck. Yeah, the Brigadier, it is. I've drove it since on like, what's it called, Michigan. And it was actually like a pretty nice truck on there. It's just, yeah, it didn't really suit Phase 4 that we got it with. But other than that, I think it's objectively as a truck. Like, if I was to start the game again, and I had access to that in Michigan, that'd be pretty high up the list of trucks I'd be using. I got out my PS2, started to play GTA San Andreas. Yeah, that'd be a pretty cool one. I'll probably need to get that one back as well. As I said, it was only months before I started doing SnowRunner. I was playing on, what was it, Vice City. And yeah, that was pretty cool to go back through that. Managed to do that stupid plane mission. What was it called? People will remember it. The little RC plane mission. I keep thinking bombs away, but I don't know if it was that. You had to fly a little plane around anyway, and yeah, either bomb people or something, but then you ran out of fuel quickly and all sorts. It was I remember it being a bit of a hassle. Ooh. Well, I think I probably won by default because everyone else is just about dead. Someone's catching it, or they just died. Well, there goes that. Rebel by choice, then have to go back to SnowRunner. Yeah, that's what I like to say. Well, I was playing on SnowRunner, yeah, messing around with the Roadrunner and stuff, but again, just kind of like holding off really, sort of looking forward to it until we get the new content. GTA Remaster was done by Grove Street Games, who seems not to have a great track record. Oh, was it? I didn't realise it was sort of parted off to another company. It's a shame with stuff like that, because especially Vice, like, they're pretty iconic classic games. All they had to do was re-release them. Like, that's it. The less they touched and messed with, the better. And if anything, I seen like what some people said, and I'd happily agree, is like they didn't even need to mess with the I still came for yeah, they didn't even need to mess with like the graphics and that as such. It wouldn't bother me if the graphics are kind of like old school and a bit squared off or whatever. That's all. Yeah, that's just how it was back then. Yeah, Stony famous. I know all the big names. Atlas Randy Santel has over 1,000 restaurant wins. He has teamed with Katie for a burrito. Is that burrito contest? Yeah, that Stony guy. Yeah, I think he's pretty like got a pretty massive YouTube channel and all the rest of it. But it is, again, it's not even the sort of thing I'd normally watch, but yet something like 30 Big Macs, and it's like, that's now beyond just you're able to eat a lot. That's like straight into sort of rare levels of impressive how the hell they can fit that much food. War Thunder has been my go-to a lot recently. Yeah, that's what I think everyone's sort of at the stage. There just wasn't enough content on Phase 5 that any of us that started Phase 5 when it came out is we've just run out of stuff to do by now, sort of thing. So I think everyone's kind of nipping off. You can tell on, like, say the YouTube channel as well, it all dies down a bit. And yeah, people are just kind of finding other things to do. And just, I suppose, yeah, waiting for Phase 6. But it's interesting how many people are still perfectly interested in coming back for Phase 6. Like, again, as far as games go, it's over a year and a half old now, and that's pretty ancient for in-game terms, really. There's a lot of games that come out, they have the sort of moment for a few months and then it dies off a bit. But even Call of Duty, sort of, they only last a year max, and then I suppose they purposely cut themselves off, but it definitely plummets a lot, even by Christmas, January, February. Like, the amount of people left on Call of Duty is absolutely plummeted, really. David Kaiser, Matt Stoney must take massive shits. I don't know what he does. I assume, like, I was thinking he must go and be sick afterwards or something, surely. Like, I don't know if I'd want to attempt to digest 30 Big Macs in a row. Can't think that could be too healthy. Like you said, must be one hell of a shit. So I've seen the new COD looks terrible. I've seen little bits of it. I've not heard amazing things about it. Again, it's just I'm not interested in getting it. They just, I don't know, they're not doing enough new stuff. But I've already lost a tyre. I'll start again because it's never good without a tyre. Yeah, again, there's the skill-based matchmaking. They do too much to protect new players on there. I remember back on Black Ops 1, I got absolutely murdered left, right and centre. Like, when you were new to the whole franchise particularly, like, you got thrown into the wolves, the alligators, and you got ate for breakfast repeatedly for months and months and months, and it's like you had to get good to stop that happening, whereas now they just, yeah, because of skill-based matchmaking, they'll just pair you up with sweaty people that sit there doing nothing. To be honest, I even looked a bit earlier. I could, I've got a few videos that I kind of edited of Call of Duty, just of like the best shots and everything I did, but I never uploaded, so I could always kind of get the finishing touches done on some of them and upload them instead. But yeah, it just used to be much more of a laugh, whereas it's too, I don't know, feels like it's all been bubble wrapped and everything by now. Which is a shame. It had its day. Again on Black Ops 1. I doubt anyone will remember, I don't know, there was a guy called Turd Burglar who used to make videos and you could put them on the Black Ops 1 theatre mode. And it was, I watched him throw a tomahawk at a helicopter kill streak, and he managed to hit it and blow the helicopter up. And it was him who made me originally get into tomahawks and everything. Tomahawks and knives, so again, I don't know, I have no idea who the guy is, but if anyone knows who Turd Burglar is, tell him cheers for inspiring me to use tomahawks. Hate to feel that shit, having a problem after eating just one Big Mac. Exactly, I don't know what 30 would do to you, I don't know if I could, I don't know, like, even when I eat too much, if I ordered something like Chinese, I always just try and eat as much as I can on the first attempt for no apparent reason, just because I've ordered it and it's fresh and everything. But yeah, I can feel like sick and just not good for hours and hours when I eat too much. I don't like to eat too much. How the hell, like, I don't know. Well, I couldn't physically eat 30 Big Macs, I know that much. I couldn't eat 5, I don't reckon. I'm sure I could eat 3. I heard they go hide somewhere and puke it all up. It honestly wouldn't surprise me, because if you just stacked, like, again, 30 Big Mac, there's other stuff, but whatever that Matt Stoney food challenges he does, they are legitimately obscene levels of food. Like, there's no, you know, I might be able to fit most of that in on a good day. It's just like, he's in a whole different league of the amount of food he can eat. And yeah, you'd assume, especially that he's not very big or anything. And I think he's a pretty skinny dude and all the rest of it, so might be sort of the equivalent of bulimia, but obviously probably just eats normally. But when it comes to food competitions, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they just pop it all back up afterwards. Molly, was that Shula? A metal human. Oh, I'm wrecked. No one eats more faster than her. Did 300-ounce steak challenge in under an hour. Includes sides. I don't know if it's the same name, but I did see a woman that ate, there was some kind of like pretty massive steak, and she ate it in something insane like 3 minutes. It might have even been less than that. But everyone else who'd done the food challenge was like, yeah, 20 minutes, half an hour or whatever, and she, well, what can you say? She knows how to swallow meat. She's obviously had more practice, but full respect. How quick she ate it was, yeah, like record-breaking levels. Someone helped her train that gag reflex out of her. Digestive enzymes expand your stomach with the water the day before, release just before contest. Yeah, true. I don't know if my stomach could handle it. I definitely wouldn't be made for an eating competition. Quickness or total amount. I'm pretty slow when I eat for some reason. I'm sitting there enjoying my meal. I ain't in a rush to like wolf it down. Oh my god. That is mate. Saved him. I'd rather just enjoy my food instead of force. Yeah, that's literally like, I didn't even read your comment by them. There's the same thing here. I'm like, I just calmly, slowly eat through my dinner. There's rare occasions where I am really starving and I just want to wolf it down or whatever, but beyond that, yeah, pretty slow, relaxed eater. That is Molly Skylar, does not chew food. That could well be her. Again, I can't remember the name, it was probably around the time I was watching those sort of Matt Stoney videos and it recommended her video where, yeah, just something insane that was like, well, this car's pretty screwed. Even everyone else that was, yeah, like big massive dudes and all the rest of it, like were taking 20-30 minutes to eat one. It might not have even been 3 minutes, it was something disgustingly quick anyway. But, well, impressively quick. It's fair to say. I feel like garbage after one Big Mac and some fries, let alone 30. Exactly, it definitely can't be that good for you. Like that, what was that thing that guy made, Super Size Me or whatever, where he ate McDonald's for a month? Thing is, it's like with anything. If you go mad on it, it's never going to be great. Anyone watch Man vs Food? That guy could eat a lot. That's true. I used to watch that. Is that yeah, I'm pretty sure I know the guy you're on about. I've not watched it for years though, but when I used to have that kind of TV. Well, you never know. It probably is on like Netflix or something, but I've usually got Netflix on or whatever, like, or Amazon. Well, not anymore because they I didn't pay the thing 1 month and then they just didn't auto resubscribe me, so sod it, I've not been asked to do it myself yet. Yeah, I just put stuff on in the background though. I'm never really watching it. It's not physically possible for the body to digest that amount of food. in that short time frame. It's true. I must admit, you'd think like, well, I mean, I probably want to eat more than that, but 30 Big Macs, I could live pretty okay for a month off that. And that guy's eating it in like 10 minutes, so yeah, you gotta, I mean, I'd be willing to put my money on, like, he's got to throw up afterwards. Some of the challenges he does, maybe not, but when he goes to the extreme like that, you've got to, surely. Men versus food, I haven't seen that guy in a long time. Like I said, Beard Meats Food is that, oh sorry, it's just jumped up. I've not even heard of Beard Meats Food. But yeah, the same thing though with the Man versus Food. We'll go and choose someone else. I've not seen it in bloody ages. Probably, I don't know, 5-6 years at least. You need to train. Dunkin' bread is disgusting, tastes as awful as it looks, and no fun, but in time limit, shaved blonde hair, tats, piercings, etc. Rub by choice. I got rid of the TV 8 months ago, don't miss it, stream now. Yeah, it's pretty much the same here. Does Netflix, yeah, count as streaming? But I got rid of TV like ages and ages ago. Even where I used to live, I didn't have TV at all for years. That's why, like, me and my brother were just playing Call of Duty Black Ops, Guitar Hero, and Need for Speed, and then landscaping and doing whatever. Or we'd put like just DVDs and films on. Had a big stack of, to be honest, pirate DVDs and everything back then. So yeah, I was just watching through all that sort of stuff. And then even when I moved here, it's sort of like I've got Netflix and that, but yeah, I don't miss TV at all. Like, I agree. Even when I used to have, like, we call it sort of Sky TV over here is kind of the most common one. Once you've owned that for a few months, it was just the same. So let's go for the old Dukes of Hazzard car. It was just the same programs on repeat. So, for example, even if I got it today, it'd probably be that Man versus Food, but it'd be the episodes that I saw 6, 7, 8 years ago. And they might have newer episodes on, but just to fill the actual like amount of TV they're supplying, they just everything is just repeated month after month after month, to where, yeah, like I say, once you've watched it for a month or two, you just keep coming back over the same things again and again. That's what she said. So they do. Oh, I've seen international blow chunks or something. The athletics, healthy eating afterwards. The only program that I miss from TV is Top Gear. Yeah, true. That Top Gear was when I think they ended that just as I moved here, and when I lived at the caravan, I didn't need you have over here, if some of you have heard, I'm sure, a TV license. It's just another excuse to try and rip people off. It was a good idea back in the 50s odd, because it was a way of funding like making a TV show, so it was even worth owning a TV. But these days, it's just a rip off. And yeah, they messaged me saying, oh, I owe I owe them some money for a TV license. Like, I think you'll find I don't. But yeah, I wrote back to them saying, fuck that. Ever since you ruined Top Gear, I'm definitely not getting TV anymore. The funny thing is though, the year that they cancelled Top Gear, I think they lost like $1.5 billion in revenue and sales or whatever, you know, just from like selling TV rights and all the rest of it. So it definitely cost them. This guy likes a bit of ramming. Oh, it's gonna nail him. Lucky. Yeah, TV, same shit, different day. That's what it ended up being like, really. Which I suppose with stuff like Netflix, there's loads of stuff on there that's obviously like stays the same, but at least I can just go through and pick and choose as and when. Like with the format of TV, how it was, you know, every Thursday at 8 PM it'll just be the same thing again that was probably on last month and the month before and all sorts. It just, yeah. And like I said, it's one of them where I have the TV on quite a bit, but I just like it on in the background. I'm usually messing around on my phone more, to be honest, but even then, not. I don't know, I like watching videos that I like information and everything. I'm watching those sort of things. Could be documentaries, all sorts of stuff, but yeah. I do tend to have the TV on just in the background. Beard Meats Food is British. Adam retired some 10 years ago. Oh yeah, is Adam the Man-V food guy? Yeah, the beard one, I've definitely not even heard of him. I assume he'll be on YouTube and stuff as well, though. Rebel by choice, love me Top Gear Grand Tour, damn you Clarkson. Yeah, true, I think there's one thing of Grand Tour I've not seen. Overall though, the Grand Tour's pretty good. You could tell the first season was, they were trying to find their feet a little bit. There was a few things, like the celebrity bits of the show I don't think many people cared as much about. But overall, just watching those three dick around, yeah, it pretty much sells itself. Particularly Clarkson. Sorry, I was just about to read that comment. It said I can just see breakfast food. Top Gear guys have a new show called The Grand Tour on Amazon Prime. Yeah, exactly, and I assume that's still going. It doesn't seem to be going at the same rate that it initially started. But again, there's still loads of Top Gear out there, like on YouTube and everything, that... Yeah, it's very rare, but every now and then I come across a Top Gear episode that I've not even seen, that just, yeah, it's been one that's slipped through the gap. My dad pays 300 for cable and 700 channels, but only watches like 2 channels, so what's the point? Yeah, exactly, and I think a lot of people have become the same way. Even over here, again with that TV licence, it's basically for the BBC 1 and 2, which is like the government funded channels anyway. It's mostly a load of bollocks these days. But the only thing they did have was Top Gear, which kind of kept a lot of people thinking they'll pay it just for that. I didn't have to pay it. When I lived at the caravan, the way the caravan worked was it was classed as like a holiday home to my parents' house, so a lot of things just, well, I say a lot of things, but there was stuff like the TV licence that just didn't come into effect because I just got it counted as like my parents have a TV licence. And it didn't have to be my parents, it could have been wherever I said I was living as an official residence, which it's not a scam, that's what like thousands of people are doing. All the police know about it now. I was registered at my parents' house, but I just never lived there. Let's do that again, that was pretty good. Only turn on the TV to watch Raw and SD. Is that Raw, or is that wrestling? Or is that porn? Could go either way. Both pretty good choice, to be honest. Clarkson's farm's entertaining. Do you know what? I've not seen it, but I saw that he'd done like Clarkson's farm thing. Clarkson has his farm now, so it's probably too busy for the Grand Tour. Yeah. It's one of them, sadly. It was going to come to an end one day. Love the Grand Tour episodes from Scotland. He's got nailed there. Yeah, no, they're definitely cool. It'd be pretty damn cool if you had that kind of job where you just get sent around the world and then get paid to dick around in cars. Sorry, I just seen Justin Lynch, was it? I seen wrestling. For BritBox, best BBC and ITV, and Acorn. Tubi is free. Old TV and movies, yeah, that sounds more like it. The old school TV and movies. To be honest, if I put a lot of films on these days, if it's pre-2000, it's already pretty much guaranteed to be decent. I don't like a lot of the new shit today. Like I said, it's all some kind of moral lecture and all sorts of bollocks going on. It's like, skip a lot of that. SD SmackDown, fair enough. So it was wrestling. Clarkson's farm is a typical Clarkson. Yeah, I could imagine he's just one of them people that's like funny, really, whatever he's getting up to. Definitely, say pretty bankable as far as like making TV shows about him goes. I miss the Attitude era of wrestling. Stone Cold and The Rock were my favourites. I remember, to be honest, I wasn't ever majorly into wrestling, but when I was a kid, especially pretty young, I think my brother Dave in particular was. And yeah, there wasn't a whole lot else going on in like the early 90s, and I'd say yeah, early to mid 90s, might be a bit later, but I definitely remember Stone Cold and The Rock. And like I said, when I was a kid, it was like I forgot his name again already. Was it Sting or whatever that we were talking about the other week? And somebody was the British Bulldog. Hulk Hogan was probably one of my favourite. He was definitely pretty big when I was like watching. Yeah. Again, we didn't have any like Sky TV or anything as a kid, and a lot of wrestling was on those sort of channels, so didn't really watch a lot of like the absolute latest stuff. But my brother would fairly often get like WrestleMania and all that on on VHS. So they might have been a few months old by then. Like the fight might have happened a few months before or whatever, but eventually got to see it. James May's that bug out bunker, was it supposed to be dug out, or is it actually bug out? Oh yeah, it probably is bug out, isn't it? Bug out bunker. Kitchen on them tube. I like James May as well. Considering he's like in many ways the opposite to Clarkson, but I could happily sit there and listen to James May explain potentially boring stuff, and I could like listen to it for hours. True GM Roman and the Bloodline. It's the best thing on the go today. Oh, is that a TV program or something? I have about 5,000 films on DVD and Blu-ray. Some I've never watched. That's true. I've not really got that many, but I had a lot of... someone I know just used to get pirated DVDs, and I'd get them all for free. Like, well, they were theirs, if you know what I mean. They were just lending me like a bunch of different ones they had, so I had a lot of them. I've never really had a lot in the way of normal DVDs. But to be fair, I wouldn't have anyway. So it's not like the ones that I was watching were like, I'd go and buy it on DVD if not. Rebel by choice, like James May. Dragon Slayer Austin 316. Yeah, something about that does ring a bell. Again, I mean, we're talking now like going back 25, 26 years or so from when I remember. Like when I was, a pretty young kid watching it. Yeah, we could do a bit of smashing them up. Let's have a look. Where's my limo? That's the one. Is it that one? Yeah. It does kill people pretty well. Last man standing, that sounds pretty good. Let's give it a go. Aussie man, you won. Do you know what? I wasn't even paying attention, to be honest. I'm surprised though, normally I get nailed on that course. Austin versus Macho Man. Remember the old Macho Man, definitely. He was, again, probably one of my more favourite ones as well. Would like to sit down and have a few pints with Wolf and May. It'd be a pretty good conversation. Well, again, I'm assuming May would be doing a lot of the talking, but he can explain all sorts of stuff. I'll sit there and listen too. I'll be with you, just, yep, sit there and listen away. See how well this goes. Should go pretty well. I've kind of not cheated, but I've certainly put things in my favour a little bit. We're panicking. I get to hit a triangle. Double cheat that shit. It's funny as well, I went on Facebook the other day, only for like 5 minutes. I go on there like 5 minutes every 6 months, see if anyone's messaging me or whatever. It's one of the bloody ex-girlfriends sent me a request. It's like, oh shit, see? That tea towel, you've got to play the long game. It's no good getting them a Range Rover. It'd be in bits now, but that tea towel's still drying cups like a motherfucker. remember it occurring. What a dick. Sit there and listen like a little schoolgirl. Yeah, exactly. Well, probably less talking. But yeah, I know what you mean. I definitely could just sit there and listen to you've got one, I don't know, pretty good at explaining that sort of stuff. Bagged him. I think James May came out with his own gin. Oh, has he? I think quite a lot of people are getting on that now. Isn't there what's Conor McGregor brought out a whiskey, didn't he? I think there's big money in it now, especially China are apparently really big into the whiskey, and obviously they're like a massive market for it. But obviously over here, Scotland's famous for making whiskey, and I think that's where a lot of their sales are going, is yeah, China, and then a lot of the high-end whiskies are going there as well. What's a gin? It's just a type of alcohol, just, yeah, called gin. When I was saying, when I was a kid, like, when we used to go walking the dogs and that, and yeah, we were making, oh, apologies if it just cancelled anything there. What was it? Making blackberry vinegar, and then we made, yeah, slow gin, which was just adding a load of sloe berries to gin and sugar and leaving it and all the rest of it. I can't remember what's happening there. I got a bit distracted then. I pressed the wrong button. I can't remember if I was winning, losing, or what was going on. Oh yeah, last man standing. I don't even know if I was the last one standing. So I've just got to survive to the end. So I don't want to keep hitting the ball. Should be doable. Alcohol, exactly. Overall, spirits, not really my thing. I drank too many of them not as a kid, but like teenager, half and half, and just, I don't know, I don't really enjoy the taste. That level of alcohol is just, yeah, alcohol. Helps you get hammered pretty quick, but I'm not at the stage where I think I could sit there and enjoy a neat whiskey. I could handle a neat whiskey for the results of it, but that's about it. Proper 12 whiskey by McGregor, yeah, that's the one. Never had any, I don't know if it's expensive or not. I nearly bought a, what was it, Johnny Walker Black Label, where I used to work. It was a wholesaler's, so I think the bottle was supposed to be like 130 quid, but it was, I don't know, 90 or whatever there. I nearly got it, but it's too posh for my taste. Just about to get that one, someone snuck in. Scotland and Canada spell it whiskey, US and Ireland spell it whiskey. Scotland, true, I think in England we spell it with the, like, K-E-Y at the end. I've never really thought about it before, but I'm pretty damn certain we spell it like, yeah, W-H-I-S-K-E-Y. But Scotland and that, whiskey, it wouldn't surprise me, especially with just how their accent and everything as well. But I've never really noticed. I'd rather have a beer or two. Yeah, true. Even then, I'll be honest, when it's a night like a hot summer's day and all the rest of it, a beer does go down pretty damn well. But I think every now and then I will have what's that? Copperberg cider. It's been pretty nice. Like a drink that actually tastes like something you'd want to drink if it wasn't alcoholic. Like, strictly speaking, would you still drink beer if it wasn't alcoholic? I don't really understand. Oh, I don't know. When people drink non-alcoholic beer, I mean, again, each their own. I'm not judging it. For me personally, I'd rather just get a drink at that point. But it could just be my taste buds as well. I definitely drank a lot of beer in my day that was just for the sole purposes of getting drunk, not really to enjoy the beer or anything. That was the last guy left. Yeah. Same here, Wolf. I've tried alcohol in the past, but meh, I just don't like it. Yeah, true. It's one of them, yeah. Like, I could still go out tonight and go drinking or whatever, but I'd rarely do. I think the last time I even had a drink was last Christmas at my brother's house, and yeah, funnily enough, it was a Copperberg cider. I can't remember what flavour, but some kind of fruit flavour thing, which still tasted better than I would say a pint of beer if there was no alcohol in the beer and you were just drinking it as the drink. But yeah, overall, I don't know. I drank a lot as a teenager. I went out, I did all that, went clubbing all the time and going out to the pub. And yeah, I got it all in there, if you know what I mean. And then I got to about 18 and a half. And then I just stopped going out a lot, but I've still been out a fair amount since then, but it died down a lot. And then yeah, these days it's one of them, if the excuse or reasons comes up. Last time I really got pissed was my brother's wedding, which was like, then we went to some pub and yeah, got pretty hammered there, but that was a couple of years ago. Or probably more, probably it's got to be about 3 years ago. Again, it's this COVID thing, it's like you sort of think of it as, oh, it was probably last year, and then it's like, well, it can't be. I've heard a lot of people say beer tastes like piss. I've heard people say that. I was going to say I've not really tried piss to know the difference, but I get what they're saying. I kind of agree in the sense of, yeah, I don't really know if I'd go as far as to say it's nice. But again, if it's a hot summer's day and all the rest of it, and you've just got there and you're having your first pint, that is nice. But when you're just necking pint after pint, a good thing is now I'd be a cheap date. I'd only have to sniff a bloody shandy and I'd probably start feeling dizzy. Back when I was drinking like every day near enough and it was just constant partying and all the rest of it, you'd have to drink a ridiculous amount just to even get started, kind of thing. So it sort of felt like that's when spirits helped. It was just knock a few of them back, get you warmed up. Because otherwise, by the time you're on like the 10th pint or whatever, I don't know about anyone else, but I'm going back and forth to the toilet every 2 minutes. Like, once you've broke the seal, that's it. Just need to piss constantly if I'm drinking beer. Margaritas taste good. Do you know what? I don't know if I've ever tried a margarita, to be honest. I'll have to look into it next time. Next time could be years away, but still, I don't think honestly, as far as I can remember, anyway. There's definitely like girls' drinks that I've been with and that I've tried there, so there's a chance, but it doesn't ring a bell. Well, I've heard of it. I can't remember any time I've definitely tried it. Always used to have a Baylor's Irish Cream at Christmas time. Yeah, same here as well. Even as again, not like a young kid, but when I was a kid, yeah, my mum used to let us have one, one at Christmas. It was pretty cool, pretty nice as well. I probably will this Christmas, to be honest. Have a Baylor's. I've just heard they've tried piss. I'm not sure. Might have, well, yeah, I've missed the top half of that one. Rebel by choice, tequila. I've definitely tried tequila. I can't even remember. Can't even remember what it tastes like. I just would put it in that category of like strong alcohol used for getting drunk quickly. Taste is kind of irrelevant. This is what I like about this course, is this little cross section here. But I'll be honest, kind of missed a lot of the action. I think my loaf has he's had better days. Well, the old suspension and everything's pretty good actually. Big. Guys had a right shit day. Thought I was bad. Proper 12 Southern Comfort whiskey. Oh, sorry, dude, jumped in a bit there. Oh my god. Flatter than a pancake. It's on its way, and we lost the tyre. American beer like making love in a canoe, except in close to water. I heard, and again, I don't put this as like absolute fact or anything, but I heard, is it Budweiser, have certain stuff in it that's similar to like rat poison or something. And it's apparently, again, this could be complete bullshit, but I have heard this a couple of times, so I'm just saying it. But don't, like, I'm not I wouldn't bank my life on its authenticity. Yeah, they put something that's a bit like rat poison in there, and the idea is after you've been drinking it for a while, you get a bit of a headache, and it's supposed to make you feel like you're drinking. I know that sounds weird, but I'm pretty sure I've read about it in like something that was not a YouTube comment, and I've heard a couple of people say it over the years, like quite consistently as well. So it's either a big myth that's been going around over here, or there is a bit of truth to it. And all I would say is it wouldn't stun me either way. That's why I remembered it enough to even, remember it. Well, I don't think I'm going to be winning this one. Might be time to restart it. A PBR drinker, you are a man of good taste. PBR. Not sure on that. Rebel by choice. Yuengling? I'm not sure what that is. You can get 24 ounces of Budweiser for $1. Sounds pretty cheap. I don't know 24 ounces of Budweiser. Is that a lot though or not? I don't like... I suppose we do have some of the drinks over here marked as like fluid ounces or whatever, but I've never paid attention to all that. Even though, is a pint, is that measured in like ounces until it reaches a pint? I don't know. We kind of mix and match over here. As I said before, between the metric system and Imperial, we just jump around and pick and choose, and yeah, it doesn't. There's not a lot of consistency to it. 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila floor. That's about how it goes with tequila. Or Jack Daniels. I used to do a lot of shots of Jack Daniels. Too many shots. Just like unnecessary amounts. Which, looking back, yeah, was like pretty stupid. Well, not stupid, it ended up being a funny night from what I can remember. Well, various funny nights, but yeah. Usually, what's that? I have Leanic Kugels in my fridge since I live within an hour of the brewery. I'm not sure if I've ever heard of that one, but I'll be honest, I don't know. There's a chance I could have drank it and just not have a clue what the name or anything is anyway, if you know what I mean. I'll be honest, over the years I've not necessarily required the name in order to be able to drink it. I've definitely had some odd, well, not odd, but just beers around people's houses and all sorts that definitely aren't like, you know, the normal Fosters and Carlsberg and all that sort of stuff. Stella, or wife beater as they call it over here. US ounce, not the same as British ounce. Yeah, that's the gets pretty confusing. America likes to make sure they're doing whatever we're not, which again, I respect the like the stubborn principledness of it. Don't get me wrong, but you do like I can't even say fanny. Well, I can, but then you guys, a lot of you, think I'm on about. Like, why you called a person's arse a fanny? Just making it confusing for everybody. So 24 is a pint and a half. Oh, is it? I never would have known that. Cheers for the info. I genuinely wouldn't have had a clue. It's 24. I was thinking it was... Oh, what did you say actually? Oh no, do you know what? I was probably about... close. I didn't know it was a pint and a half or anything, but I was going to say that was probably ballpark that I had in my head. I was thinking like 20 ounces would probably be a pint, so I suppose I wasn't that far. But that being said, if someone said, oh, do you want, I don't know, 36 ounces then of beer, I'd be like, yeah, okay. Don't really know how much I'll be getting off the top of my head. Well, I suppose, yeah, because you hear of them 40-ounce drinks in America. I don't know, some kind of alcoholic drink. PBR is short for, what's that, Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. Blue Ribbon rings a bit of a bell, but I still definitely couldn't say I've had, there's a rare chance I've had a drink of it. Again, it could be in with one of them ones that I just don't really know. Oh my god, guys are loving it. Can you still get baby shams? I think so. So I'd happily drink them. Or them, as they call it over here, bitch piss. Like WKD and all that. Not that I'm a fan of them or anything either, but I could probably sit there and drink a bottle of WKD over a beer, flavour-wise anyway. Rebel by Choice 40, that's on the other side of the tracks. GM Dieselman, was it Leanin' Kugel's beer is only brewed in Wisconsin, not sure if they export. Oh no, I probably definitely wouldn't have had that if it's that level of, like, yeah, local or whatever. It sounds like, well, it may well be, I was going to say it sounds like a German name, I was just assuming it'd be some kind of, like, not generic, but generic European beer that, again, like, you go into an alcohol kind of shop over here. I don't know about that one in particular, but there's a lot of beers that over here that I would have drank, but it would just be because I've gone into the shop that week and it was like, oh, this week that one's on offer, and yeah, it'll be some random German name or whatever that I don't know what it is, don't have a clue, not really too fussed either way. Oh yeah, crap, I wanted to restart that, oh well. To be honest, could go and take a look at that rally course. I probably won't do too well at it because I won't be looking where I'm going. But never let that stop me before. I want something that's a little bit back end happy. I don't know, actually, that'd be quite a nice one. Yeah, let's do it. I don't even know how. I'll do 3 laps because I don't know if it's like a gigantic track or what. Oh, world record, 48 seconds, fucking hell. Someone was dropping the hammer. A lot of Germans migrated to the north of America as well as Texas. Oh, did they? So you got like a bit of that going on over there. I remember when they tried to migrate to France in the 30s. Well, I'll say I remember. I would have been pretty young back then, not gonna lie. Like the sperm of a sperm of a sperm, but you know, good memory and all that. It's pronounced Leinen Kugels. Oh, cheers, man. Leinen Kugels. Where do I recognise Kugel? Oh yeah, it's like Kugel Blitz. My first drink was a White Russian. What was the name? Uh-oh. Tree. Well, let's restart that one. Knock my glasses off. Like Velma. Can't see without my glasses. Driver by choice, Argentina. Matt Doty, the dude. What's that? Sorry, I might have missed a bit there. What's that? Matthew Dittberner, German immigrant. That's cool, man. What? So you living in America then? White Russians will kick your ass swiftly. What is in a White Russian, please? I've definitely heard of them, 1,000,000%. I may have even had some, but yeah. Again, I've had a lot of drinks where I don't know. I wasn't too paying too much attention to the actual ingredients. It's just kind of like, okay, that'll be the next one going down my neck. Lamppost, telegraph pole. I was in Berlin, Oktoberfest when I was 13 years old. That's pretty cool. I've heard that Oktoberfest is a bit of a biggie. Okay, the grandparents came here after World War I. That's pretty cool, man. Don't really get that many Germans over, obviously like on holidays and stuff, but I don't really think there's like a particularly lot of like, I'm sure there will be, but you know what I mean, it doesn't seem that common. Good old jump then. Vodka, coffee, liqueur and milk. Probably had something, I don't know if it had, I've had something in that ballpark range, I would say. I've definitely had various, it's definitely what she said, I was going to say various creamy sort of drinks. Sounds dodgy as fuck. Yeah, I probably have, but definitely not like common, it's not something I'd order or anything like that, but like I said, through the years, just going out drinking. Sure, a few. Having a beer and pretzels. That sounds pretty good. Never had one of them giant pretzels. You beast, that's a fucking strong piece of tape. I know, like, not that I've specifically won it, but it'd be nice if it'd let you run the crowd over. Just to know that I'm allowed to, and then I wouldn't even want to. It's only once they stop you that it's like, really? Oh, and I'm in Ontario, Canada. I've definitely heard of it, I'm just trying to think where it is. Ontario, so if you were just say looking at like a map of Canada, is that kind of north, east, south or west, please? Matt Doty mudslide probably, sorry I might have missed some of that. Now this part of Wreckfest I could get used to. Do you know what, this is my first time being on this, but yeah, I actually quite like this sort of thing, like, kind of rallying, but you can also put the opposition on. Obviously you've got like 23 cars against me, but I could always turn that down to, I suppose you could even turn it down to 1 and have it, yeah, it's almost a little bit like a rally course, where now I'm going faster than the guy up front who, oh, was that him in the tree? Obviously I'm trying to read comments and all sorts at the minute, but if I was paying attention to this track and sort of learn it quite well, this would be quite a fun one that I'd like to stick a hot lap in and see how quick I can actually make it round. whoever did it in 48 seconds. The problem is, when they have a lot of world records on a lot of these games, is it's people that have modded stuff to where like you just can't compete. I'm not saying that has happened in this case, but I remember on well, yeah, you just even Call of Duty, for example, like you'd never get into the top all-time records because it was just pure hacked people that have got there. Sorry, I see something diluted by vodka. When you have to dilute it with vodka, that's some serious drink. Yeah, when I had a White Russian for the first, it was pretty good, and then I proceeded to have 8 more, and then got extremely hammered. That's the thing with drinking. Anything better than drinking is more drinking usually by then. Once you're actually out and in the... Yeah, out, as Matthew Flanagan says. Dragon Slayer, Me Too Rebel. Just noticed there as well, there even seems to be little checkpoints. As if it's doing like there will be some kind of rally stage. I'm still on lap 1. I'm going to be willing to say there's no way someone put in a 48-second lap. I don't know. If I'm still on lap 1, I can't see that being the case. Yeah, it can't be. I'm on 6 minutes. I know I've had a few crashes in that, but no way someone's banging in 48 seconds. Oh, I assumed that guy I just passed, he might have was the first. I have to study. Good night, Wolf. I appreciate it. Sorry, I can't see you said that, but I appreciate you popping in. And yeah, enjoy your studying and that. And I will be back at some point with something else I'm up to. Well, again, the sooner they get Phase 6 out, the sooner I'll be back to normal. That's what I'm looking forward to. Everclear is 180 proof here in Wisconsin equals 9 from alcohol. It's a bit of a base, a bit like absinthe over here. Funnily enough, upstairs I've got a couple of bottles of absinthe. Only, it's absinthe, but it's like just a cheap version of it. I've got a green one, a red one, and a blue one. And if I had a shot of it now, it's like it just, even to try and keep it down, not want to throw up. It's like when it hits your stomach just knows, like, god damn, we need that out. This is a massive map. I tell you what, I was kind of not paying too much attention, but what was the first lap? 7 minutes. Fucking hell. Not even sure if I'll survive. It doesn't look like anyone else. I think it's definitely good job I didn't put it on 6 laps. I think it's the sort of one that you'd want to do, yeah, just 1 lap. It looks like everyone else. What's the... Oh yeah, so there's only 3 people alive. Do you know what then? I might restart. I think I can officially say I've won this one. Well, I'll just go for 1 lap. I won't worry about the rest. David Kaiser, I actually wasn't as hammered as you think. I didn't even have a hangover. It's one of them where, I don't know if you find the same, but some nights I can go out and... Well, for a start, I would say, like, this would especially be the case for me now. If I had 1 or 2 beers now, I'd feel pretty tipsy and all the rest of it. But then if I was staying out for the night and I started drinking more, I kind of settle into it a bit, and then, I don't know, it kind of... I could probably be 5, 6, 7 pints in and I'd be drunk, but not, I don't know, not feel as wobbly or anything. It sort of settles down a bit. But yeah, normally I used to be pretty good at not getting hangovers. Like, I pretty much just never ever got a hangover. But then, yeah, sort of around 18 and a half-ish, seemed to not be getting away with it as easily. So I think that was part of the reason. I just got a bit bored. I'd kind of been doing it for years by then, just going out, getting hammered with my mates most nights. But again, it was good times. I'm not anti-drinking, I just can't really be bothered to go out drinking, to be honest, especially since they banned smoking as well. Because over here, if you went to a little village pub, you'd be able to take your drink outside, no problem. But if you went into like the town, you can't smoke in there, but then you can't take your pint outside because it's a glass and you might end up glassing somebody. So then you've got to ask for your pint to be in a plastic cup, which is now, you just get to the point where it's like, really? I'm out paying stupid amounts of money in tax basically for drinking a pint when I'm out. Got to queue up at the bar, I can't smoke inside, can't take my drink outside. Like, you get a lot of trouble really when you go out. Especially that, I don't know, I think just because I'm 6 foot, people often spot me and think they want to fight, so there's quite often something going on. And yeah, in the end, I'd honestly rather just stay at home though and drink here with mates or something if I was going to do that. It's the same like with going out to a restaurant or whatever. I'd honestly rather just order whatever, food, and eat it at home. That was a long ass lap. It definitely was, wasn't it? Again, this does strike me. I don't recognise the track or anything from what I was saying with that Ed Soundhead, but I don't like those tape things in the way. Yeah, there was stages called Farmlands or something. I think there was 5 stages. And not all of them, but I'm pretty sure some of them were taking him about 6 or 7 minutes to do a lap, so this kind of strikes me as they're going for a similar thing. And again, I quite like this though. I could, if I was paying full attention to the rest of it, it'd be quite fun to try at least and set a good lap and try not to smash the car up on it. Probably have to turn some of these maniacs off, but say mate, you ain't gonna just breeze past me. I'm not gonna do anything about it. Is this track in the standard game? Yeah, I believe it is, dude, because I've not played on this for a little while, but I think since the last time I did a Wreckfest live stream, to be honest, so there must have been an update since then. And just after I do this lap, I'll quit back out and I'll show you. It's just, yeah, it was another track like right on the end of the list when I go to custom events. You can see the few new ones I've added, like that Wreckfest Playground or whatever it's called. And then yeah, this one's at the end, which is called, I think it was called like Rally Stage or something. But I did buy the, like there was a load of little DLCs you could get for this, where you got like a certain group of cars each time, but I'm fairly sure the track is probably just part of the overall Wreckfest release. I don't think they ever did tracks as DLC, because then it splits up the player base, if you know what I mean, so I'd be pretty willing to bet that this is like just part of the standard game, so everyone has a chance to play it. Funny enough, it reminds me a little bit of like, you know, old school like Colin McRae rally games, even to a degree, like the graphics level. Which you see, I don't mind this level of graphics. Well, obviously the car and everything's pretty good graphics, but this background scenery, it's all a bit plain, but again, I don't need it to be yeah, look like some cinematic masterpiece. I think they've probably gone with a better idea of just making the graphics a little bit meh in the background and focus on like the game process in the game, not just trying to render amazing graphics. I feel real bad now. I drink all day, can't remember the last time I fell down. You're enjoying it? Well, if you drink all day then you've only drank once really. It's just probably lasted a few decades or whatever. That happens. See, I only started smoking once. Just haven't quit yet, I think. Maybe that's why I'm sitting next to the keg. Cut the middleman out. I mean, you may as well, if you enjoy it. No point in ordering it in pints at the pub for extortionate amounts of money. Get a keg, job done. funny enough, again, where I used to work at that wholesalers, they used to sell kegs there, so I could have got one. I hear someone buzzing around me, trying to hustle in on my win. Shit, we're probably near the end as well. I'm surprised he actually survived that long. Oh, I think he must have crashed or something. Not that I can really talk. Oh, is this the finish line coming up, I believe, around this corner? It's a pretty nice course though, I'm not going to lie, it does feel quite nice to float around. Oh yeah, laps. Well, we'll see. We'll let this guy... Oh, he must have nailed himself, because whoever's in second place is like practically a minute behind me. So we'll go and get a different car. Because he normally free and drinks twice as expensive. Is that just like when you go out and stuff? That's the thing, it is over here, it's just... Mainly it is the government amount of tax, because they double tax drinks over here. It gets taxed on the amount as in the volume, so a pint or whatever, but it also gets taxed on the, like, percentage of alcohol, so, yeah. Rally Trophy is what the track's called, and again, this is just the list of all the tracks you come over. I think they're mostly in alphabetical order now, like S, T, etc. But then you get to the end here. No, yeah, these ones, that's Bleak, Devil, and then Rally. And yeah, well, it was definitely that they added that was like months ago, but that's newish, like post Wreckfest game anyway. They're pretty new as well. I believe I might have played on them. They might have been pretty brand new the last time I did the Wreckfest live stream, but then this track I've never seen before. And again, it's a bit of a monster. Yeah, that's what she said, of course. Right, let's get a bit of a meteor car, I reckon. Oh, the little front wheel drive. It'd be funny, but... Oh, an Opel Manta. Yes. Right, one lap. We'll hot lap it. Todd Williams, my Wreckfest game updated yesterday. Maybe this was part of the update. It could be, dude. It wouldn't surprise me unless... Well, yeah, like... sometimes it doesn't give you the update, you know, until you go on your computer and everything. So, either way, it definitely can't be that old. And I'm about as sure as makes no difference that it'll be on everybody's Wreckfest game, because as I said, that's the trap that Call of Duty fell into a bit when they used to do DLC maps. Was I remember I think it was on Call of Duty Ghosts when they released maps like they did a jungle map where you could get a special thing and become like the Predator. Funnily enough, I was genuinely one of the first people ever to become Predator on that game. I'm not saying I was the first ever, but when they released it on console, I downloaded it immediately, and the first game I got into was that jungle lobby. And somebody got a Predator, they got these... You had to get like a briefcase and do a special mission, and then you got a care package that had dropped down, and if you got it, you could become the Predator. And yeah, I sneaked up on someone that was doing it, and then I shot them and stole their Predator kill streak care package thing. And this was like... I don't know, 8 minutes after the game had gone live, because you're allowed to update it a bit early, and then the game went live at like, was 1 AM equivalent where I lived. And yeah, so at like 8 minutes past, I stole this guy's Predator thing. But yeah, they did DLC maps, and it just limited, it was, because I believe on Call of Duty there was only like 1 in 10 people that were buying the DLC maps. You know what, I'll start again, because I really wasn't paying much attention there. So then when we'd all go to use the DLC maps, it was only other people that had bought it, whereas like, so it cut you off from sort of 90% of the player base, which also meant loading times and all the rest of it was a bit more of a hassle. And I know that's not going to be the case on here with loading times necessarily, but they have like the online mode on Wreckfest and all sorts, and yeah, I just don't think they'd checkmate themselves by making a map only for DLC people. Like, that's almost what they'll use this map as, like, more bait to make people want to buy the car DLCs, if you know what I mean. Which, funnily enough, this Opel Manta I'm driving, this is like a DLC. God, I was driving that other car a lot better. I know that much. Not that it make a difference because I'm driving pretty terribly. Not as bad as that guy just flew off. But I didn't even check how I've got this thing set up. I'd probably like brakes a bit more to the rear and all sorts on a rally course like this. But still, I hope they add more stuff like this. Again, they still really need to add a giant oval track, like a just Daytona or whatever. The oval tracks they've got on here are just not big enough to get up to full speed whilst you're going in an oval. Of course he had to. Wouldn't be Wreckfest if they didn't. Road by choice, less than $1 I think. Sorry, I might have missed a bit there when I was rambling about my DLC maps. Where I live, they have gun raffles at the local fire halls, and they give a free pints and you can drink as much as you want. It sounds more like it. Sounds like a good place to live. I can't remember where in America, but I remember here in some town there's a bank, apparently, that when you join the bank you get a free shotgun. It's like, that's exactly the kind of place I would want to live. I don't want to be assumed that I'm going to rob the bank. I want to be given a shotgun by the bank to help to help stop anyone trying to steal my fucking money. Right, funny enough, speaking of self-defense and that, the old Carl Rittenhouse found not guilty, which is, yeah, as it should be. So, yeah, good for him, like. Those track graphics remind me of the Dreamcast gaming day. That's the kind of era I was thinking of, dude. It might actually be, funny enough, yeah, because it would be like Sega Rally era. I think you might be spot on. Again, I didn't have a Dreamcast, but my brother Dave did, and he didn't have it for ages, and because it wasn't the popular game it was supposed to be, like, he didn't have, I don't know, it wasn't around in my childhood for ages. It was definitely more like PlayStation 1, SNES and NES and Mega Drive, sort of before the PS1 really, and then yeah, Nintendo 64, and then I had the PS2, PS3. But yeah, the Dreamcast, I think you might be like, yeah, Sega Rally and all that sort of stuff. But again, it's quite nostalgic. I quite like it. Rebel by choice, Indianapolis. Yeah, exactly. Is that like a giant oval as well? That would be a cool one. So it's another one where, again, with that Ed Soundhead who does Wreckfest videos, because he's on PC, he can get like all the mods. So he's got like the modded oval tracks, and they just look like a lot of fun. They make sense for this game. He is now going, say, 160, 180 miles an hour, but you're surrounded by other cars going the same speed, and as you just a tiny little tap on each other's bumper and everyone's twitching around a bit, and it can end in like big massive crashes. And I don't know, it just looks, again, for anyone who remembers like Tucker Race Driver back in the day, that was a pretty cool game. Oh no, I lost my wheel. That's what I get, that's karma for you. Yeah, you could get the oval tracks on there. It might have been Rockingham maybe, I can't remember, but either way, I'm sure plenty of us inevitably got on there, went the wrong way around the track, and then smashed into everybody head on, which is practically insist on doing that when you're on a game that lets you crash and you're on a giant oval track where everybody is forced to come hurtling back at you. It's the rules. So you can run them little signs over. I was going to say, the problem is I can't steer, but looks like that guy can't really drive either, so kind of even at the minute. Rubbin's racing. It's the rules. You learn the hard way. Cold trickle. See it again. I'll say it all the time. Days of Thunder. It's a bloody great film. If you just want an old school film, like an old school feel good film, it doesn't try to lecture you or anything else. It's myself Days of Thunder. I really don't know about the Rittenhouse thing. I haven't looked for it. I guess I missed something big. Glad I don't have TV. Yeah, it's not where he just defended himself. It probably shouldn't have even gone to trial and been as big as it was, to be honest. So, yeah, it was, in the end, it was more the principle of self-defense that looked like it was being defended. But still, I think it was the right outcome. So. Guy's keen. Oh shit, he's gonna try and do me right at the end. I can't go any faster because my tyre is off. I have to try and cut up on the inside. Be a sneaky beast, and it didn't work. He got me. Fair play to him. Did me fair and square. Have another go on that one. GM Dieselman. Oh, I definitely like those graphics. I miss them days. Yeah, true. Same here. That's what I suppose as we were talking about the Grand Theft Auto and that earlier as well. I don't think they needed to update like the graphics and everything. I don't think it's the only thing, but I think that's kind of part of what backfired a little bit with it. That they just tampered with like the overall feel of it, and I think a lot of people are kind of like a bit disappointed about it. But yeah, graphics have never been that much of an issue to me. I mean, again, if you go back to like PS1 and Destruction Derby 1 and all that, obviously, like this Wreckfest graphics are a lot better than that and so on. But I don't really need stuff to be all in 4K and all the rest of it. I appreciate some people like all that stuff. Well, that didn't last long. Yeah, personally, I've just never been that bothered. Again, I more like how Wreckfest is doing with damage mechanics. And as I've mentioned before, stuff like Red Faction, where all the environment was damageable. And again, in multiplayer, me and my brother used to like give each other 10 minutes with a rocket launcher to just, like blow the cliffs up and build big bases inside the cliffs and all sorts of stuff. Like, it was just pretty cool that you could damage the environment, and a lot of games have kind of gone with the graphics end of things. But yeah, I'd rather deformable cars and vehicles and scenery and environment over like cutting edge graphics. Personally, again, it's just, I'm sure there's plenty of people that prefer the crispy graphics. Let give mud tyres some of the American trucks. I don't know. Again, I don't know why they don't. It's a pretty stupid oversight, really, because clearly American trucks could have all those tyres. So, yeah, it's one of those things again that they've used as a bit of a limiting balancing factor, but I don't really know why. Especially by now. Maybe if they did it, it doesn't really make sense even then, but maybe if they did it for the first few months of the game. But by now, it's, yeah, there's a lot of American trucks that I'd enjoy more, I reckon, if I could have the muds on them. It'd at least be nice to have the option. One thing I have to say, like that, the guy who just beat, well, the computer that just beat me a minute ago, and that car there, like, they're racing. I'm not really paying attention, I am talking and reading comments, but at least the computer's actually putting in some decent enough laps on this track. Like that first go I had on it, to be honest, it seemed like everyone had died instantly, and I was just kind of on my own at the front, but there is actually some competition going on here, which I like, because, yeah, it'd be a bit boring if it was just an absolute guaranteed win. Sort of making me stay on my toes a little bit. Mark, bro, I prefer Top Gun. Top Gun is definitely a bloody good film. I'm not denying it. I think as well with Days of Thunder, because I'm like a bit of a car nut as well. It sort of suited me, but I'll admit, Top Gun is a bloody good film. Without a doubt. That's one of them things where, with Tom Cruise, I sort of Not that I didn't like him or anything. I just wasn't a particular fan. But then I realised, like, do you know what? Nearly all of his films are actually pretty decent. Well, I'm sure there's plenty that aren't, but especially back in the day, you got like some of the old school films he did. Yeah, he's got some good ones under his belt. I'll give him that. I'd rather play a game with heart and soul and great atmosphere than play a game with crispy graphics. No, I fully agree. Absolutely. That's why I think in general there's quite a big market for like the old school games, and that's where it's sad that PlayStation and all that, they're all kind of going this way, where I know you can buy games on the PlayStation store, but I remember they removed like all the old school games from back in the day. Again, I bought Destruction Derby. Was it? Yeah, it was the first one. It must have been back on my PS3, and I don't think I can get it now on the PS4 because they've just removed it from the store, which I don't like for other reasons. Like, I already don't like that they're trying to push everybody towards digital copies over physical copies, because I purposely ordered a physical copy of SnowRunner, and then now I could sell that if I wanted, whereas obviously if I had a digital copy I'm kind of stuck with it. But I owned a digital copy of Destruction Derby 1, and then now they remove it from the store and I can't get it, so it's like, I don't like that. Yeah, I sort of think they shouldn't be allowed. If I've now paid for the digital copy, they should, yeah, give me access to it, or they should have said when they're selling it, like, you're essentially renting it for as long as we can be bothered to keep it on the store. So I think that's a bit sneaky. And again, a lot of the stuff, the reason they're removing it is like Grand Theft Auto can re-release, not just for them, but I mean this is the theme in general, is like stop everybody from being able to go back and play the old games, and then they can re-release, like, yeah, you know, Saints Row, Grand Theft Auto, like all the old classics, which in theory I'm at least not against them re-releasing the classics, but if they're going to keep fiddling with them and editing bits out and all the rest of it, it's just, yeah, I'm not interested. Just on principle, it's one of them, like, it probably doesn't change the overall game of, say, Vice City or whatever, like, bits they've removed, but there's just certain things they've removed that they're obviously doing it because they know that the Twitter mob will shit their pants and start crying and all sorts, and it's like, just ignore them and let them cry. Like, everybody needs to stop pandering to like a small group of people that are just perpetually offended about every little thing going. Just let them be offended. They're gonna be anyway. that's what maintains their relevance. I hope Phase 7 is actually set where I live. So do you live in, was it Tennessee then? I've seen a GMC 9500 with them. It was so awesome, J-Max. Sorry, I might have missed a bit of that. What, so that you seen was it a real life one then, a GMC 9500? Oh shit. That is a real life tree. The left half of my car stuck to it, I think. Good for that guy span out, because this is a finish coming up. I'm about to get me number 1 spot yoinked away again. Well, I don't turn very well after hitting that tree, I'll be honest. But I might have to give this one more go, and then probably call it. In fact, do you know what? I will. Maybe one with a different car. It is quite a nice track though, I'm not going to lie. For anyone who has got Wreckfest, it might be worth firing up the game and giving it a go. I heard that Phase 1 will be trials. Hope it ain't Tennessee. Oh, sorry, I heard that one phase. Sorry, that was me. I read that like the opposite way round. True, I've not heard that, to be honest, but I wouldn't put it past them, like, considering the concept. I don't know, like, what you guys think. How popular were the trials? I kind of skipped some of them in the end. They were, in theory, they had the potential to be good. But one thing I didn't really like is, for example, like on the trials where you could have a goddamn horse or a vehicle, they were giving me a stock version of it where it didn't have the snorkel and all the rest of it. Like, there's a, was it Wolf's Bog or something? I went on that mission and I could well, quote-unquote, easily get to the other side with just a loaf, but there was areas I was going through where it was just forcing me to drown the loaf because, yeah, I was in not even a lot of water, but because it just didn't let me ever have a snorkel, there's not a lot I could do about it. This one will be pretty lively to do, to be honest. Not sure if I'll particularly survive, but if I do, probably won't be slow. Because that definitely is 48 seconds, isn't it, world record? Clearly, there's got to be something going on there. J-Mac mud tyres on it. Is that on the GMC 9500? It's funny, I notice a lot more now, like just every now and then when it, like a big, it could be Russian or American or whatever off-road truck, I see on YouTube and just click the video, and I notice quite a lot now, like how many of them have got custom tyres that are, yeah, I've seen quite a few, funnily enough, with custom tyres that look similar-ish to the custom muds that like you get on the Tayga and all that. But yeah, I just kind of notice it a lot more now since SnowRunner. Oh, what a dick. Thought I was actually going to take that corner nicer, but nope, guy had other plans. I saw an X9 today. Oh, is that the X9? Is that, do you mean like the heavy wrecker? Rebel by choice, don't like trials. Yeah, I didn't like that they wouldn't let us just pick our own vehicle, or even if they limited us again, yeah, to the vehicle. I'd just rather have the fully upgraded version of it, just because it felt... If you did the trials when you first got the game, and you're not already used to all the top stuff yet, it probably wouldn't feel any different, but yeah, like, I'm used to the loaf as like the full fat goddamn professional, and then when it makes me do a trial with a stock version, it's just... Already it's not quite as... It's not... Yeah, working as well as I want it to. Like I said, there's no snorkel, the winch is shorter, the engine's weaker, the tyres are less grippy, and it all just feels like, yeah, a nerfed version of the loaf in a way, and I just didn't have as much interest there. It'd be nice if that guy boxed off for a minute, but probably not. I've still got 4 tyres at the start, and I'm in first by some miracle. Yeah, so in the end, it took the edge off the trials for me. I'd rather them up the difficulty factor so that even with a fully upgraded vehicle it'd still be just as difficult, and if that's what they want. But yeah, it felt like they got part of their quote-unquote difficulty in the trials just by giving us stock versions of the vehicles, which, yeah, I just wasn't as keen on that. Since I'm still alive, I'll keep going, but... these guys have done more to stick me in the hedge about 5 times. I normally could manage that on my own. This vehicle's not exactly as healthy as it was, but we'll see. There's only 4 people in front. First guy's only 10 seconds ahead, so it's doable. It's basically there's no military vehicles on the American side, even if the Hummer we got wasn't the military version. That's true, I'd much rather the Hummer H1. Overall, I quite like the Hummer H2 in SnowRunner, especially once that guy let us know to get like the roof rack off. They might have fixed that by now, but just, yeah, once I had the roof rack off, it felt how it should, and it was quite a nice vehicle. Obviously I kept getting them stuck in the White Valley Cliffs, but yeah, when I played Mud Runner again, like the H1 Hummer just feels like it makes more sense. There's nothing against the H2 Hummer in real life, but it's a bit more of a civilianised version of the military H1, and yeah, I think I'd rather that one if I could. Guys made it this far up ahead somehow. so in case it wasn't obvious, this thing ain't turning too well. Or driving too well. Oh my god, and that guy doesn't help. Gonna have to rely on them crashing really by now. So look at them, savages. That's what you deserve. Yeah, I want to... Oh, I want the, the Joker bobblehead that can't do it. Oh yeah, I did do a video on that one. I remember doing it though, like, yeah. I think there was quite a few people at the time that tried it and just gave up on it. Again, I don't know if it'll exactly help, but I remember, I'm pretty certain I did the video on that. Is that with the CK1500 where you have to, like, drive it to certain checkpoints? Or something like that. I think I remember, like, yeah, not being a particular fan of it. I was just kind of happy that I got it done, got the Joker in the bag, and then just make a video about it and move on, really. Sorry, just see, would be awesome. Both there is A&K and military. It's true. It'd be nice if they well, I suppose on the A&K they did give that the custom mods, didn't they? But by now they should just give all vehicles all tyres. I don't like their tyres. We could put them on any vehicle in real life. If you owned every vehicle in the game and every set of tyre, I know there's alloy size, blah blah blah, but all tyres are round, so you're going to have like every tread option available to every truck, really. You've just got to buy the right size one and all the rest of it. But yeah, there shouldn't be a limit just because it's like an American truck versus a Russian. And well, fingers crossed with the Derry that the new engine actually does something, because again, the game's more than a year and a half old, and we still have yet to have a useful... Well, the other Derry isn't terrible, to be fair. But the main Derry, I think the one we were all expecting and waiting for, yeah. Bit disappointing, to say the least. Somehow that guy made it in the field. Not sure if he can get out of there, but not my problem. What the hell is another one? Oh, finishes up there. Not sure if I can get him in time. Oh. He got me. Yeah, you did it backwards from everyone else. Oh, did I? Because it was just one of them where it was a bit of, obviously, trial and error, and that's... It wasn't too bad, but I got sort of bored of it pretty quick, and then... wait for another one quickly, since he won. Yeah, I was just kind of, by the time I completed it, I wasn't happy I completed it, I was just glad I didn't have to redo it again, if you know what I mean, and give it another go. But I would at least say the order I did it in appeared to be doable, if you know what I mean. I don't feel like I got really lucky, it took me a few goes of going that way round, but yeah. I think it is doable that way, but it's all for that Joker bobblehead, which I'm not disappointed that I've got it, but you know what I mean. If they made it for, I don't know, would it be good or not if they, like, if you had to do that to unlock a vehicle? That would sort of force everybody to have to complete that for a vehicle. At least a bobblehead is kind of superficial, doesn't really unlock any new parts of the game or anything. I couldn't handle a life. Kill him. That's what they should have wanted. I think that first car I used was probably a pretty decent one for this track. It was handling like a beast. This is definitely, I'd say, more fun though. It's a lot more bouncing around, kicking the arse end out. it's a little bit more erratic. Apple's Ridge. All losing it. Yeah, they're pretty fun, super capable and even better with the manual transmission. Do have a soft spot for the old manual transmissions on pretty much anything. Do like an old school manual. Rebel by choice. I'm going to look for your video and try it again. Yeah, do it, dude. I hope it helps. Good luck with it, Matt. It's I get exactly, like, you ain't the only one that just said, oh, I can't be bothered with it anymore. And if I didn't get it that time and it, you know, I had another 5 or 10 goes and I still wasn't getting it, I probably would have just skipped it myself. But it's definitely, I think you, yeah, I reckon you can do it. There is a little bit of luck, obviously. But I reckon it's within reach. You'll probably feel pretty good if you get it ticked off your list and get that Joker bobblehead in the bag. It's funny, well, it was probably months ago now, but I was talking to someone, you know, like, how you hear people say about people's achievements in life. And like, say if someone climbs Mount Everest, everyone will class that as, like, I know it's a bit of a random one, but they'll be like, oh yeah, that's like a genuine achievement. But then, I've completed Freebird on Guitar Hero 2 on the hardest mode. And not that I care if anyone else cares if it's an achievement, but I just remember having a conversation with someone like, who gets to choose what is actually a bigger achievement than anything else? It's like, whatever counts to you is kind of, like, there's nothing, I don't know. I'm glad I put my time into Guitar Hero and bagged some of them songs. And it was definitely a certain skill level needed to get to that point. Some people have climbed Mount Everest, but I've got to be honest, I'd rather play Guitar Hero than climb Mount Everest. And yeah, it's like that Joker bobblehead. If you want it, and you want it in the bag, then it's, yeah, it's important. GM Dieselman. Right, Wolf in chat, gonna catch some Z's. You'll have a good night and day. Yeah, I appreciate it, dude. Cheers for popping in and saying hello. Again, hopefully, the sooner the Phase 6 comes out, the sooner we'll be back to normal. Which, like I said, it's a shame there's like a dip between the seasons, but at the same time, or on the opposite end of the scale, they kind of leave it long enough to where it goes full circle and you start looking forward to when they're actually going to release the thing. Yeah, you know what important for you? Yeah, exactly. I just sort of think, like, whatever people get up to, I don't really care what I get up, like, I enjoy what I get up to, if you know what I mean, but everything I do in my life, it doesn't bother me if it means anything or nothing to anyone else, if you know what I mean. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I think everyone should, like, just do their own thing, whatever makes you happy. Enjoy the shit out of it. I'll go on to a different track after this, but I could definitely easily just spend hours and hours lapping this track. mystery bags the link. See your GM, yeah. David Kaiser Wolf, I drove the IRL of the A&K Mark 38. Me and a couple of friends took one off-road in PAWE. Got it stuck in 6 feet of mud. 6 feet's pretty bloody deep, to be fair. You're doing pretty well on that one. What's it like, though, to drive in real life? Funnily enough, I think I've seen a video of someone driving one around. I can't remember. I don't know. Someone was restoring one, I think. And I don't think they knew about SnowRunner, but I think it just coincidence that they were like, they'd bought one of them on their channel or something. I just remember seeing one video where they were driving it around, like, knocking little trees over, not really anything too juicy. What haven't we smashed up today? Let's have a look. That was quite a fun track. Wouldn't mind a bit more mayhem. That one's not too bad. Does get a bit crazy on that one. Let's go for the old rocket. Rebel by choice. Look for Grand Tour game. It follows season 1. Oh, is that on the Top Gear thing? Not sure if I knew they did a game for that. JMac, life is way easier when you do something that's simple. Just do what makes you happy. Yeah, exactly. That's what I think. Like, I think a lot of people these days, not everyone, I just mean a chunk of people sort of get too focused and worried about what other people think. You know, like as far as saying, in quotes, achievements. It's like the world has a certain standard on what is an achievement and what isn't. But like I said, how is completing a game any less an achievement than, I don't know, you think back in the day, certain sports and all the rest of it. Certain sports can get kind of nominated to become Olympic sports. And they're obviously competing like the best in the world. But someone say then on Wreckfest, somebody has lapped this track quicker than everybody else on the planet. And it's like, that's a pretty big achievement in its own right. Doesn't really matter that it's a game or otherwise. Obviously, it's not just games. Whatever you're doing with your life, like, as long as you're enjoying it, then that is the achievement, is that you're enjoying it. Unless you do what oh my god. Because I didn't realise it was going to auto restart me, I just steered straight into it. But yeah, I was more thinking it of like myself as well, various things I've done. Like I say, there is a lot of games that I've completed that I'm genuinely like, I enjoyed it, I'm happy I've got that game in the bag. Okay, I'm just going to start again because I fully killed that Mustang about as much as it can. I drove it like a true Mustang owner. But it's the first season you drive the car like they do in the show. I could imagine it could go either way, but it could well be a pretty fun game to mess around on. Even like, what was it, on Gran Turismo, where they give you the Top Gear track. It's quite cool to then get various cars they've lapped on there and try and beat the Stig's time. See, being the Stig, that would have been a bloody good job. I wouldn't have done what that guy did and, like, he revealed his name and his identity and all that. Oh yeah, I'm still on 1 lap, aren't I? Crap. Let's go back out of that quickly, because I ain't going to get a lot done in 1 lap. Not on that. Gran Turismo Sport is a official Olympic sport now. Those guys are elite. Yeah, exactly, but that's what I mean, as in, you know, now they've been kind of, like, accepted into that genre, it's classed as like a bigger achievement, but those guys were all shit hot at racing before, if you know what I mean, on those games. Like, there's yeah, like, it's a genuine skill. At the end of the day, anyone in the world can compete. It's like, I always say this with Formula 1 and that, and it's no disrespect to Formula 1 racers, and it's not to say, oh, if I had a chance I'd be beating them, it's nothing like that, but the actual amount of people in the world that ever even get a chance to race anywhere near Formula One is such a tiny percentage of, like, they're always, you know, wealthy, well-connected families that are in the racing genre and all the rest of it. For the most part, I appreciate there is the odd rare breakthrough, but just generally speaking, most people will never get a chance. So I sort of think you get the rare exception. Like, I think Michael Schumacher was legitimately one of the best racers, etc. Like, he just was. But yeah, a lot of them, you sort of think they're just in a position where they can, and again, good for them. Like, not knocking it at all. But when you think of something like racing on Gran Turismo, everyone can get in on that. So there's a lot more competition. There's a lot more people that could take your spot. So the people who actually consistently race on there and, like, yeah, are now competing at, like, an Olympic sport level is like, good for them. It's more stuff should, like, yeah, that's not as mainstream as such. Like, just because it's not mainstream, it doesn't discount how difficult it was to achieve that or whatever. So I remember back on Gran Turismo 3, I was one of the few people in my school that had the special license. They had to race around the Monte Carlo track in, I think it was a Toyota GT1 with, like, no traction, no help. And there was a few people who got it eventually. I was, if not one of the first, but I got the game sort of when it just come out and all the rest of it, and yeah, I liked playing it. But like I said, I had people asking me and offering money and all sorts to take their memory card home and do the special license for them. And the funny thing is, I wasn't good enough. Like, I just kept reattempting it, trial and error, until I eventually winged it and got a fast enough lap in that I unlocked it. But it was, yeah, not an easy one to get. Definitely took me a good old while to get that one in the bag. And anyone back in the day who remembers Gran Turismo 3 will probably remember, like, yeah, that special license was a beast to try and get. Funny enough, it's random, but someone in the comments probably about a year ago mentioned Gran Turismo 3 and they said about it. The special license was a beast. Michael Schumacher was my man. I knew I liked you a lot, Wolf. Yeah, I've said it before, like, originally, it's a similar thing with, like, Tom Cruise, where it wasn't that I wasn't a fan of Schumacher, it was just, you know, because he was, like, just the standard. It wasn't that I wasn't rooting for him, but you'd almost, when another underdog would beat Michael Schumacher, it was like Michael Schumacher was just the benchmark, like, he was a beast. But then, yeah, looking back, it's like, he's undoubtedly a rare level of, like, exceptional race driver. He's came out of his coma and everything now, hasn't he? I'm not sure if he's, like, back to full health or anything like that, but I believe he's now not in a coma, which is good, because there was a shit way to go. It's pretty crazy when you think, like, Colin McRae as well. Flying past trees all day long in seriously fast cars, and then he died in a bloody helicopter crash. Schumacher's skiing accident or whatever. And then they say Formula 1 and that is dangerous. It's like, seems like the, I don't know, well, yeah, skiing or something can injure. I'd say anything can. I remember watching Mario Andretti drive in F1. I definitely remember the name. I think that was probably a bit before my time. But again, the name definitely rings a bell. Oh, I really like the film. It's one of the few films I own on Blu-ray. Rush, which, like, between Niki Lauda and James Hunt. It's a bloody good film, worth watching if any of you haven't seen it. And yeah, like, I remember as a kid, just even my dad would get them DVDs, oh, not DVDs, sorry, videos, VHS again. If anyone remembers the old videos, just called, I think they were just called Crash, but there was, like, you know, volume 1 to, I don't don't know, probably went into the 50s, 60s and all sorts. But it's just loads of like old school racing crashes essentially. Pretty good things to watch. I'm going to win. It was close. I wasn't even paying attention, so not bad. We'll take it. Rubber by choice, 4 player. Sorry, what was that, dude? Adjustments. Apparently teams won't get to build their car anymore. Even Gen 7 car will come pre-built and will basically be exactly the same. Is that on Formula 1? Oh, I did see, sorry, yeah, something about NASCAR written. Yeah, that was it. I was just going to say, or did you mean NASCAR? J-Mac, great movie. Sorry, I might have missed what movie that was as well. Wheels will be different on Gen 7 cars. As well, no more 5 lug nuts, just one big centre lug nut. All by choice. About Mario. Oh, is that a game? Do you mean? Oh, sorry, a film. I'm kind of jumping between conversations, getting myself a bit mixed up. Yeah, NASCAR. I've not really watched a lot of NASCAR or anything like that. We don't really get it over here as such. I'll go for another quick lap. That was pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. It's the same with Formula 1 over here. There's too many rules and everything getting involved. Again, I sort of enjoyed it back in, well, the 90s, but I did see stuff from like the 80s and before that. Like I say, it's the same thing with the rally in like Group B versus how it is today. It's nothing against how it is today, but I just think Group B rally was more insane and pure and dangerous and like, yeah, just overall made better to watch, I reckon. J-Mac, movie Rush you mentioned. Oh yeah, true, sorry, getting a bit mixed up there. Yeah, no, it is a bloody good film. Yeah, that was back when they used to race at like the Nürburgring as well, which would be pretty cool to see them attempt it today in Formula 1 cars. I'd always, when I had the M5, I wanted to. I mean, I'm not bothered that I didn't, because I'm not sure if I'd want the wear and tear on the car, but yeah, when I had the M5, I would have theoretically liked to have gone to the Nürburgring and had a lap round there. But yeah, strictly speaking, I couldn't. Well, I had it on finance, so I certainly wouldn't really want to risk sticking it in the wall on a racetrack and then still got to pay for it, but I've not even got it anymore. So it's probably best off that I didn't take it to the Nürburgring, but I'm not going to lie. If somebody gave me a free M5 for the day to go pasting around there, then I'd probably enjoy it quite a lot. Justin Lynch, first place. I heard in NASCAR, current Gen 6 cars are soon going to be retired and replaced with Gen 7 cars. Yeah, it's just going to keep going, isn't it, really? Which again is, I don't know, especially with the level of like, not that I'm a particular fan of safety features, but to be honest, if it's keeping people alive to keep racing, then obviously it's a good thing. But yeah, I don't know, there's just too many other rules and things that they interrupt it all with. It's like Formula 1 today seems to have gone more on like fuel usage, and then there's more restrictions with the tyres. And just all like the engine capacity and limits and all the rest of it. I'd rather they just say to each team, like, make the most batshit insane crazy car you can and see who can go around this track the fastest. Like, surely that's, I don't know, well, it'd be good to watch. Imagine the sort of stuff they could make today if it was just no holes barred, no limits, like just make an insane car. It'd be pretty interesting to see what all the different teams come up with. And even if they say it'd get dangerous, it's like, so. I'd race in it, if you know what I mean. Ferrari have a 3,000 horsepower psychopath that no one else dares drive around Silverstone, then I will. So they're always going to find someone who will be willing to do it. I have the ring memorised, such a crazy track. I know I would die there if I had an M5 for a day there. I'd probably be in the same boat, dude. I reckon I've got the track memorised pretty well as well, because I definitely raced on it for years on like every game that's ever had the Nürburgring on it. I'm always on that, even on what Gran Turismo is it? Is it Gran Turismo Sport? Is like the latest one, unless there's something that's just very recently come out. But I've got, it must be on, yeah, there's PS4, Gran Turismo 4, and Nürburgring is always the one I go on, pretty much guaranteed. And again, one day, yeah, I'd like to go there, but like I said, even if I had the M5, if I went there with the M5, I couldn't do any less than go flat out round the track, because it'd just be rude not to if I actually got there with an M5. But yeah, it probably wouldn't do the car many favours really. And again, if I could just buy M5s for fun, maybe. But I certainly, I had it on finance, so it just wasn't. It wouldn't have been a good idea. I would have ended up cooking the thing half to death, pasting it around the track, if not sticking it in the wall, and then yeah, best case I would have had a good lap, got out of there, and then my car would have like a Nürburg paste-in worth of wear and tear on it. David Kaiser, that's my dream, to drive on a racetrack. Hopefully one day I'll be able to achieve that dream. Yeah, keep at it, dude. Are you got any specific racetrack in mind, or are you just that feeling in general of being on a racetrack with, like, as well, what car, if you could pick any car, what one would you choose to go round any racetrack? I think, to be honest, off the top of my head, I would go, I don't know, a Mazda 787B rotary, like the Le Mans car, round the Nürburgring. Had the chance to pace that round, that would be a pretty cool experience. Yeah, let's get some nice fat chunky thing. Let's get some T-bones on the go. I'll keep going for a little bit longer. Again, I could sit here and ramble away, so I'm good, but I'll probably won't leave it too much longer. JMac, Sport, then Gran Turismo 7 comes out in March. Oh, that's pretty cool. I thought I'd heard the other week something about Gran Turismo, like the next one. That's why I just sort of slipped that in at the end. It's definitely what she said, of course. But yeah, I've got Gran Turismo Sport. I'll be honest, I've not really played it much for a while, particularly much since SnowRunner and that came out. But I could easily just jump back on it now, if you know what I mean, and go for paste some laps around the Nürburgring in particular. I don't think I could ever get bored of racing cars around the Nürburgring. And I think, was it Gran Turismo 4 had the E60 M5 in it, and this was like years before me and my brother owned one, but when we had Gran Turismo 4 we used to just take it in turns. Like, when they first released that M5, me and my brother said one day, like, we'll get one of them. So when we eventually got the chance to, it was kind of like more important than just the car. There was kind of a reason behind getting it. But yeah, that was like obviously years before that, when it was on Gran Turismo and that used to fly around the track. So it'd be good to do it in real life, but good thing with Gran Turismo, if you lost it on a corner, or did like I do, you hit the very first thing, then at least you can hit the restart button. You don't have to pay for it all. Sour potato, what about NASCAR? What about it, sorry? Like, it's something, by the way, I don't watch or anything, but when I have watched it, like, I could happily watch it. Anything, if it's motorsport and it's got some good stuff going on. Like, one thing I do like about NASCAR is obviously they're permanently going pretty bloody fast. But it's just not something we get over here to where you could even get into it. You'd have to get like a specific the Sky package with like the specific sports thing or racing or whatever that adds NASCAR to it and all the rest of it. Laguna Seca is one of my favourites. Yeah, that is a pretty cool track as well. Definitely know that track pretty damn well, just based off games. But I've watched a lot of like real life races around there, and yeah, it's nice to recognise you know what's going on. It was like watching the TT, the Isle of Man TT, when I was younger watching it. T-boned the shit out of it. I just didn't know where they were going, if you know what I mean. But then when I moved, well, I'd sort of half and half moved over there. I was like staying with my brother for a while, so it wasn't full on moved over there, but pretty much. But yeah, now I know all the TT track. I've been around the TT track shitloads of times, and just now when it's on TV, I know exactly where they are, if you know what I mean. I'd probably get a little bit mixed up, like if I just tuned in midway through and they were just driving past some hedges. I probably can't remember it absolutely dead on like that instantly anymore, but I recognise all the main bits, like, well, more than that, I've pretty much the whole track. If I watch them from the beginning, I know exactly where they are and all the rest of it. And it's, yeah, it's the same with a lot of race courses, just from, like, racing games. Which I have to say, I've played a lot of. I like spinning me out. Just any track. The car I would choose would either be an E46 M3 or a Ford Mustang GT500. That's some good choices. The E46 M3 would be an interesting one. It'd be a pretty cool one to zip around the track. Well, so would the Mustang GT500. Are you talking like an old school one, like basically the Eleanor out of Gone in 60 Seconds? Which is probably the one I'd go for, I reckon. Or yeah, if I was going to go for a Beamer, I'd probably go for I'm going to be biased on this one because I've got one, but I've got the E30 325, the IS M-Tech 1, so I'd like to take, like, theoretically nail that around a track would be good. But again, if I own it and I'm paying to replace it or whatever, I don't know, I'd probably quite happily just not. But I'd still like to go around the track. But over here as well, Silverstone would be pretty good to go around. Donington, I like that one, I reckon. It's got a bit of a fast, rapid hill sort of going down, and you cut off into a right-hander that, if you get it wrong, you'll probably go pretty wrong. Which means when it goes right, it must feel pretty good. It's like that, is it Spa? It's that really dodgy corner, I can't remember the name of it. I think it might be Spa, but I don't know. But as you go past the finish, or the start I suppose, there's like a S-bend going up a hill. Not really, yeah, like a chicane wiggly bit. It's just pretty famous for crashes, like high-speed crashes. Could be where that guy died, actually, in the Formula 1 car a couple of years ago, or was it Formula 2 or something? Could have been that corner. Which I think that halo thing made the car that hit him sideways get tucked under the halo bar, and I reckon that's what killed him. J-Mac, TT race is insane. Yeah, it's pretty nuts when you watch it. I like every now and then type in like TT, you know, close calls or whatever. It's when you see them racing that, it's pretty crazy. Like, definitely, I bet it'd be a rush to do, I know that much. Especially that you are going past all, like, yeah, the highway essentially. You've got lampposts and walls to hit and all sorts. I remember when my brother was there, and Dave Jeffries, who was a pretty famous good racer in the TT, I think when he crashed he hit a wall, and it's pretty bad, but his head flew off and landed in someone's garden, like in the helmet and everything. I'm sure it was Dave Jeffries. So yeah, when it goes wrong, it can go wrong, but that's part of the buzz of why it probably feels so good when it goes right. That's kind of inherent with anything. There's got to be a certain thrill factor going on. More of a new, oh sorry, GT500. To be fair, it probably, I definitely prefer the looks of like, say the Gone in 60 Seconds GT500, but I don't doubt that the newer one would just, it's all newer innit, it's got better brakes, better engine, it'll have a more powerful engine, it's just, everything will just be tighter and more modern and everything about it, so as far as nailing it around a track, the newer one would probably be the better choice anyway, just to have like a faster, like, yeah, a better lap. I think the old school one would just be quite a nostalgic kind of thing to do. Rebel by choice, Spa, yeah, sweeping right after start. Yeah, I think that's the one. It's pretty famous, isn't it, for like some pretty crazy crashes happening. Spa is definitely one of my all-time favourites. Yeah, driver passes away here 2 years ago. He was in F2. Yeah, I believe that was it. It's which, yeah, like obviously it's sad. No one wants that to happen. But I imagine if he was still here, it's one of them, innit? Like, I bet he enjoyed racing enough to where that's just the risk of it, really. It's never good when it gets to that, but kind of part of it in a way. Not, it doesn't have to be part of it, certainly not with Formula 1 or Formula 2, but I just remember when that happened. Personally, I reckon that halo bar thing that they put around the cockpit, I reckon that forced the nose of the other car, instead of ramping off the side of his car, I think it kind of made it tuck under the halo bar and punch him in the face with the front of the car, basically. Again, that's just my gut feeling when it happened, but either way, it's not good for the dude. Looking for a Mustang Pony, 05 to 09. Be pretty good times. Again, if they weren't so ruthless on like the import fees over here, they'd be more popular. You do see them over here, like people have still got them, old and new, but not many though, I'll say. Definitely don't see them anywhere near as popular as just normal European cars, for example. I mean, I suppose that's like my M5. I probably could have got a Mustang for, in theory, if I could just pluck one out of America and bring it here, I probably could have got one for half the money, but by the time you've added all the import fees and all the rest on it, it'd probably end up nearly as much, if not as much, in which case I'd rather just get, yeah, an M5. But there's a lot of American stuff that I think would sell quite well here, really, if it wasn't so convoluted on how to get it here. Is that El Rouge, or Al Rouge, is the corner's name? Well, yeah, I can pronounce Rouge. Is the first bit like A, or Al Rouge? Sounds about right. Al would probably make a lot of sense for the amount of people that crashed there. But yeah, it's definitely a corner that appears quite a lot if you watch like crash compilations and that sort of thing. Al Rouge and Revillion, 2 corners in one. The names of the corners, I'll be honest, don't ring a bell, but to be fair, I'm not that brushed up even on, like, I lived pretty near Silverstone, and is there Cops? I don't know, I could hardly tell you like a corner name of most things. But yeah, the track itself though is definitely, it'd be a cool one to race on. It'd be a bit of a buzz to do that corner, like flat out in something pretty fast and actually get the right line and make it through and all the rest of it. The classic Mustangs are pretty nostalgic for me because my uncle restored a 66 thing. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I think even though I've not like, well, I can think of known anyone that's ever owned one, but Well, I don't know if I ever owned one. I can't remember anyone that I've known at the time that's owned one. But just in general, I think a lot of American stuff is quite nostalgic over here, just because it's obviously appeared in a lot of films over the years. Certainly, practically everybody over here knows full well what an old school Mustang is. It'd be pretty cool to own one. I've looked at them at time to time. Again, where I used to live, they had American shows there every year, so you'd have more classic stuff than new stuff. There'd be new stuff as well, but yeah, a lot of classic American cars were turning up, and some of them were dirt cheap. But there was like a Knight Rider car that even looked exactly like the Knight Rider car, and I think they only wanted like $1,500 for it. So how the hell me and my brother never really bought an American car from there, I'm surprised in a way, because even once, not really looking at it as in I could afford it, but yeah, there was I might have mentioned it before, there was like a van that looked a lot like a Loaf, and it had I think it was a Corvette ZR1 engine or something hanging out sort of the middle rear of the van, and it had big fat drag tyres on, and apparently it was a 9-second quarter-mile drag van, and again it looked like the Loaf. I don't know if it was a Loaf, but it definitely looked pretty similar thinking back, and yeah, 9-second quarter-mile, and I think it was I don't know if it was $8 grand they wanted. It might be less than that. It might have been about $4 grand. Either way, what you're getting for your money was obviously going to go like shit off a stick. Matthew lol, they're French in Belgium and all. That's it. I never did too well with the French at school. Well, I could have. It's a long story, to be honest. That was kind of my I don't know, kind of a throwaway lesson. But yeah, there's well, I'll probably go into it another time. There's a bit of a thing with French. One of the, not French people, like the French lessons. And yeah, certainly helped it just become a mess around throwaway lesson. I was doing fine in all my other lessons. Like I said, I ended up getting a G in French because the teacher got some of my coursework out of the bin. I was going for a U. Couldn't ever let her know, but damn it, she got one over on me just by submitting that bit of coursework. Denied me my U I was going for. Don't know, I'm first, I've not been paying attention to Soddle. I think I've been hitting every other wall going around. Just a Lynch Super Loaf. It was definitely... I'd love to know what it was. It was one of them, because I'd, like... It just... Ballpark reminded me a little bit of, like a Volkswagen camper van, but I know it wasn't one of them. And then obviously, yeah, since knowing Snowrunner and the goddamn horse of a vehicle, it was probably more similar to a Loaf than a Volkswagen camper, but I don't think it was a Loaf. I've got a feeling... Well, I don't know. I was going to say, I've got a feeling it'd be some kind of American van that looks a little bit like a Loaf. And then, yeah, had a big fat... I'm sure it was a Corvette ZR1 engine in. And again, it was hanging out like the bottom of the van on like its own little frame being built. It was half in the van, half out, but yeah, the fact that you could see the engine like all polished up and all the rest of it hanging out the bottom, it definitely looked pretty cool, and for the money, it was like a bargain, really. Certainly, if I had $4 grand just to blow that year, I'm sure it was $4 grand. I had 8 in my head at first, but I definitely don't think it was that expensive. Like I said, a lot of the stuff really wasn't. Like, obviously, if you got something there that was rare, if it was like a Mustang and it was particularly a Shelby, or it's like a specific rare model year, they'd be worth like whatever they're worth. But there was a lot of stuff that turned up that was just a big fat engine, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 700 horsepower American stuff that was just a bargain for what you actually are getting. And it will be some like lazy, sloppy American V8, but that's perfect. It's exactly what I'd happily drive around in. Right, I might have one last go on Hellride to finish. Need some good old destruction to top it off. Maybe that's it. I need to use stock suspension and stock tyres to stack. True. I'm pretty sure I stacked with... I'd definitely say at least all the tyres were like the muds that I put on. I can't remember with the suspension, but either way, I'd say, yeah, it'd probably make sense just to put stock suspension back on. Just because that's, if anything, when I was stacking them, that's what I found was like the... if you got them just off centre, they'd start leaning over to the side, and then obviously by the time you're stacking one or two on top of that, it'd start leaning even more. Each time you have to go up and down, like, keep packing and unpacking to stack them on top of each other and everything. Right, what do we want to crunch everyone with on Hellride? In fact, could have a quick go. I might pick something else as well, but I might have to have a go in this beast, because it does kill a lot of people. Definitely don't want 8 laps. Generally with this bus, I kind of aim to kill everybody rather than finish the 8 laps. Chris Martin, check Google image for 1964 Ford Econoline van, America's Loaf. So I'll see if I can type it in now. If my internet always takes fucking ages to get started. Fucking cookies. Like, sod off with them, man. 1964 Econoline van. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but... Do you know what? I actually genuinely think it might have been that, one of them, you know. And that definitely does look more like a loaf than a camper van. I think you might be right, dude. It's hard to tell, because, like, the ones that have just come up... well, I'm on Bing instead of Google, but there's one here that's like a burgundy red-ish colour, and it's got like almost a Starsky and Hutch stripe going down it that then goes up behind the door. That's a similar colour and everything to what it was, but it had massive drag tyres, like full-on fat, wide drag tyres. They were obviously had like slight tread patterns in them, so they were road legal. But yeah, I honestly think you might be right on that one, because that's definitely how it looked. Even like I said, this one here, the similar colour kind of like reminds me of it a lot. So if you find a custom one of them that was like, do you know what? It might have even been an 8-second van. That might have been where I got 8,000 from. It was an 8 or a 9-second van, but whatever it was insane, especially for a van. Rebel by choice. Was in a James Bond film. Yeah, true actually. Oh, I recognise it from somewhere, but yeah, you could be right with that. 64, good year. When you think about it, like, imagine how cool... Well, just... I could say it for America, I could also say it for the UK, really. Just in, say, the 60s or then by the 70s when enough of the vehicles have been sold and they're out, like, America in the early 70s must have just been... Not just, but you know what I mean. Mustangs, all sorts of good shit driving around. Just must have heard, like, barbling V8 sounds all over the place. And again, over here, there was a lot of, even stuff like Toyota. If you go and have a look at, like, 1960s Toyotas, a lot of them look bloody good compared to now. It's nothing against anyone that's got a modern one these days. I've had various modern cars that, I don't know, you got to admit, a lot of them are just printed off a production line. It doesn't feel like there's as much soul to them as there used to be. But they are probably objectively better cars that, I don't know, handle better and all that, but yeah. I'm a bit of a fan of like the old school kind of, yeah, wobbly manual gearbox. gearbox that's got about a foot of play in it when it's in gear. Chris Martin, yeah, you can add a drag race to that search, and there's lots of variations. Yeah, true, I should have actually. I will do in a minute. I'm curious now, because there's a slim chance I might even see the same van. For the fact that it had an engine hanging out the bottom and all the rest of it, it was definitely the higher end of like someone's done that van up, so there is a slight chance I could even find the actual van. Like I said, it was like a sort of burgundy red, but it was probably a bit more, I imagine it'd be called like some candy orange kind of. It was quite a nice paint job, definitely. Again, the whole thing, if I had the money. I remember reading, like, he had a A4 bit of paper stuck to the side that was telling you about it and all the rest of it, and yeah, we had a good old look at it, and a look round it and all the rest of it. That guy went that way, so we can go this way and splat him. That's the plan. Didn't know what I'm going to say, that car, he would have gone to the inside. Sons of bitches. Broken by choice. Dad had a 68 Galaxy 4-door. Just trying to think. Nail that guy. Galaxy. Kind of, I don't know, sort of. I think I might be thinking about the right car, but yeah, probably wouldn't bet money on it. Again, you share, or vice versa, some car names with us, but like your Chevy Nova you have over there. You want to see our Vauxhall Nova? It ain't as good as a Chevy Nova. I can say that much. And then Galaxy, yeah. What do we have over here? I think it might have been, yeah, Ford Galaxy, but it's like a people carrier. I don't think you mean that, obviously. You're on about a 68 Galaxy. I'm assuming some kind of American muscle car-esque thing. My dad told me this story that my great-grandma had a 70 Charger, and he stole one night it to do a street drag race back in the late 70s. That'd be pretty cool to do, you've got to admit. I bet it's a good memory to have. Probably would have got a bit of a bollocking if he got caught for that one. I can't remember if I said before, but one of my ex-girlfriends, I think when she was 15, she tried to, like, well, it sounds bad that it's steal your parents' car. I mean, just go for a little drive, obviously, not literally steal it and bugger off. But yeah, I think she didn't put it in reverse or whatever, and she ended up driving through the living room, like into the living room where her parents were watching TV. Like, that's all-time top 10 car stealing fuck-ups, when you accidentally drive it through the living room of your parents that you're supposed to be sneaking away from. Ecoline van drag race. Let's try that. Oh no, it's bringing up fair lanes. I wonder why it's bringing them up. I'll just put drag van. If not, I'll have a look at some other time, but again, it keeps bringing that one up with like the slight Starsky and Hutch feel to it. And it's not far off, it's just not got a big fat engine hanging out the middle. Sorry, I'll get back to, we'll have another go at that. Did I win? I don't even know. Oh, I did. Yay for me.
Your great-grandma, your mum's mum, how old are you?
Funny thing is though, like, people can be grandmas by, I mean, age 30 really. I know that's still pretty young, but mid-30s someone could easily be a grandma. You're talking by like 50, someone could be a great-grandma or great-granddad.
New girl, this is still happening to her. Lol GG.
What's that? You on about the Wreckfest or?
You got him.
Well, that one though. I must admit I do cheat quite a bit with the old press triangle. Reset myself.
I was gonna say I should have killed him. Wrong button.
Got 8 other people to kill. Just gonna wipe you out. Oh, got one.
Should be able to squidge him.
Tosser. Terrible shot from me as well. Not gonna lie. Yeah, live Wreckfest. True. I like a bit of live Wreckfest every now and then. I'm gonna go soonish because I've got into the inevitable argument with my bladder. But I'm gonna win again. It'll learn one day.
David Kaiser, just turned 20, my dad is 56 and my great-grandma passed in the 90s.
Yeah, when you think as well though, it's pretty crazy, like, did you say a 70 Charger? Like, in 1970? Well, I don't know if that happened in 1970, but I was thinking this the other day, you know, just to go back to the 90s now, you're talking like 25 odd years. I know it's 21, 22 years to take you back to 99, but yeah. So you're talking like 31, 32 years just to get back to the start of the 90s. It's just pretty crazy. Obviously, I know it inevitably happens that way, but just, yeah. As I grew up in the 90s, you just sort of think, oh yeah, 10 years odd ago in the 90s or whatever, and then you suddenly realise now it's like, shit. So the 70s was like, yeah, 50 odd years ago. There's enough time for someone born in 1970 to be a great grandma now. Doing my bus too many favours. Someone's actually beating me, apparently. Time's coming down, so they've probably binned it. Unless it was that person I just went past, so they're not moving. Whoever's in third is definitely a goner. I might as well just kill this person then. Oh. I thought it was that red car. That didn't go too well. Get him on the way back. Oh no, it's over there then. No, it wasn't then. My bus is not too healthy. Yeah, the pre-2000s seems so long ago. Yeah, it's pretty crazy how it just keeps going. Like even little things when it was September the 11th again, and just someone said it's pretty crazy now. There's people that were born after that are like adults now that obviously don't remember it because they weren't born when it happened, but that's just another one of those things that I know it was longer than 10 years ago, but you just sort of put in your head as like, oh, that was, 10, 15 years ago, and it's like, it soon goes.
all dead. Oh, and then I finished anyway. Goddamn professional. Wolf, yeah, it was a 1970 Charger. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. It'd be a nice, nice thing to own these days. Would have been a nice thing to own back then. Rebel by choice. So David hasn't lived in the past. Probably not. Well, I suppose we all have. We were all there once. Noob girl, yeah, if you're 30, old people are funny. Old people can definitely be pretty funny. When I used to work at a cafe, even when I was like, I think 13, 14 and 15, there was a lot of old people there. There was some old woman there that would not for the life of her let anybody else make her a cup of tea. And eventually I managed to break her. And then in the end it was only me that was allowed to make her drinks for her. She was like she was funny though, but she was like a proper stubborn old bastard. But to the point where you respected it, because she was like all out stubborn old bastard and didn't give a fuck. But yeah, I was eventually got me way in there. Got her to accept a drink I'd actually made. Sorry, I'll have one more quick lap in something a bit silly and then call it a day. Let's do this to finish, like an old 635 Beamer or something. Do we want to do... Let's have a quick look at the maps. If not, I'll go to Hellride. I know what I could do actually. It's a bit of a random one, but why not? Or do we go for something a bit juicier? Would kind of like to drive that though, I'm not going to lie. Rebel by choice, only known 2000. It was a good old time when the 90s, I enjoyed the shit out of it, I know that much. Heard some pretty good things about the 80s. Well, I was alive in the 80s, but obviously I can't really remember it. But when it changes to 1990, it's not like everything we owned and everything just turns into 90s stuff. We still had stuff going back like 60s, 70s and 80s and all sorts. So a lot of the stuff I grew up with was probably more from the 80s and before than the 90s. But then obviously whilst living through the 90s, got the odd thing that kind of belonged to that decade. But it's definitely a good time. I think I'd prefer it back then compared to now. I don't know why either. There's a lot of things that are a lot better now. Like even having a phone that you can just go on the internet, like when Chris Martin just said, yeah, type in 1964 Ford Econoline or whatever. It's like, oh, I'll just do that now and it's done and it's easy. There's a lot of handy things like that. I can't remember what it was, but there was something I needed to do at school. It wasn't this, but say it was like research who the 24th president of America is. And yeah, I'd have to get on my bike, go to the library and all sorts. Like now, you'd just be done instantly. There'd be no point in even setting that as homework. Rebel by choice, sun is about to come up. I believe it will be here as well. It's just gone 6 in the morning, so it's still dark outside, but it won't be far off. Yeah, I was born just after 9/11. I'm a fetus compared to some of you guys. True, you're pretty young if you what you're saying. Yeah, you're 70. 70, sorry, 20. I've just aged you half a century. My bad. Rebel by choice. I graduated in 1982, so you graduated before I was even born. Hempfield Area High School equals hash. I was going to say, with that sort of name, always going to. Still haunts me. It was definitely insane. Like, there's obviously it was horrific, but it's one of them you can't really. It's just fucked up, if you know what I mean. Like I said, I remember when I got home, I believe just as the second plane hit, and then I seen the towers all collapse live as such. Like, well, yeah, live. And it's definitely, yeah. I think everyone that was alive and old enough to remember it ain't gonna forget it. boy. He's back though, I'll give him credit where it's due. He didn't let that crash stop him from realising his dreams and ramming me back. I respect it. We are race bros now. Me too, got home when the second tower was hit. Yeah, it was like, over here it just so happened to be kind of around school, so everyone's going home from school time. But yeah, definitely probably the craziest thing I've seen unfold live on the news and all the rest of it. Can't really think of anything that would be able to top it. I'm sure, well, obviously it wasn't on the news necessarily, but I'm sure when the bomb was dropped on Hiroshima. Do you reckon, like, I don't know if this will be offensive or not, but god damn it, I'm going for it anyway. Yeah, you know when like the bomb went off in Hiroshima? Because I kind of think this is what I would think. Like, do you reckon anyone, just before they died, smiled because the flash went off and then realised, like, it's not God with the world's strongest flash camera? And then that was it? Just vaporised? Because they wouldn't even know it was a nuclear bomb, would they? Like, it was all top secret and everything, so that's what my guess would have been. God's trying to take a picture. And then bam, gone. Morning here. Oh, is it already getting the sun coming up? Can't resist. I know it'd cost us both, but god damn it, can't help myself. See a right T-bone situation going on. Yeah, definitely, definitely didn't do my car many favours, I'm not gonna lie. Well, let's just start that one again. But I'll do it again if I get the chance. David Kaiser, dang, it's 1 AM where I am. Yeah, no, so you're basically then 5 hours behind me. So what time is it where you are then, Rebel? Are you like an hour ahead or something? Oh, so is it, do you mean like, yeah, 1 AM where you are? But they do have the driving and drifting and everything sussed out very nicely on this game, I have to say. Stuff does handle pretty well, considering it's a, like, crash-focused game. Actually, they do handle it pretty well. Like how they feel to drive and all the rest of it. Delphia SC. Is SC South Carolina? It's just a guess. Rebel, oh my bad. Yeah, I got mixed up with the morning thing as well. I think I did the same thing. These two guys just ahead. So we can go for a T-bone, but that guy coming the other way ruined it. Oh, and again. Big. Wherever there. Gotta survive it. 5 more laps. South Carolina. Is that Delphi or Delphi then? Sorry, not that that really helps when I say both of them. I'm in northeast Pennsylvania. If it was this game or not. I'm sure there was like advertising boards somewhere on one of these racetracks that was called Navistar. I'm sure it reminded me obviously of the Navistar from SnowRunner. I was just looking at it, I can't see any of them. It's from Pittsburgh area, Greensburg now, down Yankee. Living in the south. Oh, damn Stevie Wonder driving into cars. Couldn't help himself. Right, one more quick one and then I am done. Die or not, I'll just call it a day. If anyone still has one of these cars, like a 6 Series Beamer, would be worth a bit nowadays. Especially if you had like, I think it was the M635 or whatever. Rebel must feel like an outsider, that being in the south. So when I moved up north, in Yorkshire, they got pretty territorial up there, I'll give them that. Next week's SnowRunner, it probably will be, to be honest, dude. I didn't really plan on Wreckfest tonight until kind of 20 minutes, oh god. Do you know what? I know I said last one, but I didn't realise I was just not even looking where I'm going and kill myself in one lap. Yeah, I just kind of, as I was loading the game up, I just kind of, Wreckfest caught my eye and I thought, I'll check it out, and yeah, just kind of landed on that idea last minute. I've enjoyed this. Yeah, like I say, I sort of, it's a little bit easy. I'm still kind of eyeballing where I'm driving and that, but for the most part, I don't have to pay as much attention as I do on SnowRunner. Well, unless I inevitably end up crashing and rolling every 2 seconds. So it's a little bit easier to just eyeball the comments and keep chatting away as well while doing this. And yeah, it's been pretty cool to mess around on this for a night, chat away to you guys. Rebel by choice, might get it now. Well, this game, it's
if you can find it, especially if there's Black Friday deals going on. I don't know if this will be on offer or not, but it probably isn't the full 60 quid to begin with anyway, so if anything, like, yeah, if you could find it on offer, it might be like 12 quid or something for the entire game. And if you're saying you were, was it, graduated in like 1982, so I assume you'll remember like the original Destruction Derby and all stuff like that, so this is actually a pretty good follow-up game. It feels like an actual true successor to like Destruction Derby 1 and 2. Well, that's me done. They were determined I wasn't going to get that one done. Justin Lynch is a fun game. Yeah, it definitely is. Like, again, even that rally course thing I was doing earlier, the actual driving mechanics behind everything feel like they nailed it pretty good on this game. So even though I'm driving, I'm talking, reading comments, doing all sorts, like when you're actually paying attention, all the rest of it, you can obviously adjust the difficulty settings to whatever. I've also got some of the fastest cars in the game now, but overall it's still a good racing game. Like, there's a lot of competition and all the rest of it. Even like the computers actually put up a decent fight against you when they're racing. So yeah, overall I'd say it's a pretty cool game, worth getting, and especially if you can find it for the right money. I was going to say as well, is that, yeah, these tournaments have brought a new, where is it? If it stops loading, there we go. Yeah, got that one now. 500,000 fame points. What have I got? 104,000, so that'll take a while. There's a few new things. I think that's new, or newish, because I don't recognise it. That's definitely new. That bus must be new. Ghost Train, they must have done that for Halloween. That's new. Do you know what? 5,000. Let's just. I'll do one quick race with this because I didn't realise it was like 5,000. Oh no, not multiplayer. Where would it be is the question. So I assume, yeah, that's the Doom rig, so they've made a modified version of that. Where the hell is it? Well, unless I'm blind, it's not like a version of this you can oh, is that all the ones I've got left to buy? Not many. I probably won't bother then. I was going to get that thing, but I'm not sure if I do, game. It's definitely not that end. I don't think it's going to be in any of these because these are all saved as like my favourite cars. Well, we'll forget that idea then. I bought it, but as you see, it's ripped me off. Apparently I'm not allowed that truck. I'll figure that out another time. Sorry, I might have missed a comment or two there. This is like a few weeks ago when you said one more. Yeah, exactly, that's what happens, that's the problem. I could keep going. Story of my life. See you, Rebel. Justin, see you next week. Hey, we didn't get a story tonight. Have one for next week. That's true, actually. I was thinking of something the other day. Do you know, I need to like just write a key word down so I can remember them on command. That's the problem. I've got plenty, but
it's just trying to, yeah, have anything to remind me of like it to begin with. I'll again over the next week I'll have to make a little note thing on my phone, and when I remember a story I'll just put a key word so I can just look back at it and it'll trigger a memory, and I can I'll get one rustled up. David Yartu, Rebel by choice, still here till the end. No, I appreciate it, dude. You do hang around. You hang in there as long as my bladder has to. Yeah, like I say, I'll call it a day there though. I appreciate you all showing up, popping in and saying hello, and yeah, fingers crossed. The sooner the better with phase 6. Really, I'm definitely going to be busy. Like essentially tomorrow, the day after, and the day after. Thursday, Friday, maybe, but I wouldn't hold my breath. But hopefully after that, it might start calming down, so I can actually just get back. I still would like, if I can and get time, to do a Roadrunner review, just for the hell of it. To be honest, it's just for the sakes of doing, a Roadrunner review. To be honest, it's a fun truck just to go flying around in. But other than that, like I said, I'll be back as well next week with a live stream, and then as soon as I get phase 6 out, I'd like to just go back to normal and pretty much just be making daily videos, and then the old live stream at the weekend. Sean Wright, thanks dude. I appreciate it, man. Rebel by choice. See you, Wolf. I'll say bye then, and I appreciate you all popping in, and enjoy the rest of your days, nights, whatever time zone it is, whatever you're up to. I'll be back pretty soon. Sean Wright, I've been too busy playing SnowRunner to make many comments, but been listening. No, that's cool, man. No worries. I appreciate you popping in and that. It's don't have to keep comments coming, but I appreciate them all the same. David Kaiser, see you next week, Wolf. I appreciate you, dude. Same to you. I'll certainly be back. Rebel by choice. Miss morning videos. To be honest, I'm to the point I kind of miss making them. I want to get back to it. It just between just busy and getting stuff out of the way, and I've not got many videos left. But like I said, soon we'll get to phase 6, and I can hopefully just go back to normal. Justin Lynch, see you next week, Wolf. I appreciate it, guys. Right, I'll hit the button there, but enjoy the rest of your nights or days, and I will be back soon one way or another.